Everybody, we are Girls Guts Glory. Happy Sunday afternoon and
Happy holidays.
Indeed, we're all in the festive season, as you can tell by our hats and our wear. I am hornless today, but I am candy cane full. So that's nice. We're really excited to pick up the story. We have some exciting news. So death saves, unfortunately, the wear came a little bit late.
It didn't arrive in time. Holiday busyness. But we'll be giving away some death saves gear in the new year when we're back on January 6th. So we're taking a couple weeks for the holidays, and then we'll be back live on January 6th with some cool death saves gear to give away.
Woo! But we do have an actual giveaway, because 'tis the freaking season, everybody. So yeah, we're going to be giving away a player's handbook at some point in the game. So stay tuned. Be in the festive spirit of giving with us. You guys have been great. I know that we sometimes have different things that we are able to give to you guys, and we'll also answer your questions at breaks. So let's just get in the spirit all together. So speaking of spirit, or potential spirits, if everyone dies, it's like my common joke.
This is not holiday appropriate.
Do you know anything about me, Rachel? You know I love
really
making
kill us
jokes.
Over Christmas.
You know I love it.
This is not a good Christmas present.
No,
Santa would put you on the naughty list.
Yeah, Santa's giving you coal. I'm just saying. If you want
Call me
anything from
Santa.
Santa. Saucy.
Saucy. But let's pick up where we left off. So, just a quick recap. They have been sent underground to investigate a crime that had occurred in the Palace of Waterdeep at the request of Captain Farland. Just to clear their name and also to investigate, rather than sit around and wait to be tried and kind of, brought into the court system there. They took the adventure into their own hands along with Vita and have uncovered an interesting truth through a network of digging tunnels underground, as well as digging tunnels and meeting strange creatures along the way, some friends that you knew and you had met in prior instances. Giles, good old Giles. And now you guys have finally hit what appears to be both bedrock and an interesting situation where Lilith pretended to be a god to all of these strange, deformed elves who have been chanting and singing these songs to some sort of god that they're praying. After some incidences had occurred, Moira getting trapped with a giant worm in the middle of the hallway, discovered that they had been waiting for her, strangely enough, have been wearing strange necklaces that do seem to be very old-looking jewelry, much akin to what Lala, I combined the two of your names, that was amazing. Very similar to what Lala had found dropped, which the beautiful emerald earrings of Laurel Silverhands. Yes. However, all of these strange creatures then wanted to bring you to their quote-unquote king and introduce you to them. You guys didn't get a lot of information from these people. They seemed confused. They seemed a little bit baffled by whatever year this is. It's odd. But together, all of them had led you guys through a network of very long hallways, long stretches of hallways. It took about 10 minutes of walking. And you then came into this room, a very empty room where there was only this giant stone chair with this gauntlet and the closed eye of Helm, different than the gauntlet with the open eye of Helm, but you've seen this symbol around quite a bit, and a couple of you guys have had strange visions. Also, good to note that Fauna is currently missing one of her eyes. So
But you can't tell because I enchanted myself to look like I have a glass.
Yes, but when that hour is up, oh, how much fun it will be. But that's where we are. We've gone through one round of battles. This person who was sitting on this throne quickly transformed into Vita and then whipped Vita by them. And you guys are now in the heat of battle. The worm protecting all of the creatures, including Giles. And you guys are just going to be taking on this journey. All right, so from there, we'll begin. Yeah, everybody? You ready?
Yeah. In the middle of battle.
Final season of the final show of the year, right? 2018. Okay. So right now, top of the turn is its turn. So it is going to use action. Let me see.
And check out this awesome vlog we have, guys.
I don't think we do have a camera.
It's all iridescent
So,
and pretty.
As it does this, this creature, we actually got like a pile of ooze. This is an actual pile of ooze I own. It creates these two strange arms and like creates a double Vita. and then like snaps one over here, and then snaps one over by you.
No.
So these two little D6s represent that. As these humanoid-looking Vitas are in front of you guys and are going to lash out at the two of you. However, because of its aversion to fire, it does get disadvantage on these attacks.
Good.
So against you, and what's your AC?
17.
17. Wow, you are lucky. I rolled nat 20 and nat 1. So this
disadvantage.
this creature it created that looks uncannily similar to Vita, except it does have a faint scent of sulfur, which now that you catch is a little alarming. As it kind of whips by you, tries to lash out and attack you, her clawed hand just coming out in a grasp, completely missing. The other one goes for
18.
All right, with disadvantage, that is 18 to hit. All right.
Also, because I have Moonbeam on it, it says when the creature starts its turn, it is engulfed in ghostly flames that cause it certain pain and must make a con save.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
So you have to make a con save because I have Moonbeam going on.
You do have Moonbeam,
You
and
are
so
sweating your
it does on its turn, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that was cocked. All right, same roll. Just about. Let me look that up. Con save on this is a 19.
So you succeed and half damage.
All right,
So,
so
1d10.
yeah, roll that damage.
2.
A 2? Okay, all right. As you, I'll say that as the battle's occurring, you kind of go like, and it kind of like, yeah, like, oh, wait, like that. That's correct.
Yeah, because I'm a saber-toothed tiger right now.
Okay, great. But with an 18 on the attack, hits it, beats it, hits it, beats it. I always forget it. So, all right.
How far away is she from me?
I'm too far.
She is
Too far?
over 10 feet.
Over 10. Oh.
Yeah, just over 10 feet. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, with that attack, to hit your AC. All right. So, meets it.
Oh no.
Okay. That's what the check that. Okay. So that's 19 points of bludgeoning damage, and then 4 points of psychic damage. Yes. Let me.
How many points of psychic damage?
How much did I say? 4 points. Correct. Let me see the second thing that happens. 1 second, because now it actually successfully hit, so it gets to do this. So as this version of Vita comes up to you and attacks you and successfully hits you, Fauna, kind of like out of nowhere, this creature kind of almost melds, the ooze almost like oozes into you and starts to wrap around you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh wait, I gave us all. I did something where we all have wisdom saving throws.
You Beacon of Hope. And is it on you as well?
Yeah.
Great.
For,
I would like you to make that save, madame.
all right. So I have advantage.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving
save.
throw. 25.
Okay. So what happens here is you can feel this creature try to wrap around you. It's hard to understand what's happening, but the strength of this creature is so strong. You are just able to like push away whatever this thing is attempting to take over you with, but it was incredibly powerful to the point where like if you couldn't push whatever this willpower was in, you had a feeling it would take you over. So you just like breathe for a moment as you look up as it had unsuccessfully done whatever it was trying to do. All right, that's it. All right, moving along.
Kelly?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did I cast Protection from Evil and Good last time?
Yeah.
I believe you did. Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yes. Okay, great. Moving down the line, Lilith, you're up. What do you want to do?
Kill it. Please. Take it
I'm
out.
going to launch a fireball at it.
Great. As you
Yeah,
lash
yeah.
out, it is to hit, I believe.
Okay.
The fireball?
Oh no, it's a save. Sorry,
it
it's
is
a firebolt.
It's a dexterity
It's a
saving
dex
throw.
save. Yes. They said firebolt. Apologies.
Fireball.
Ball.
Dex save up to 20, so I think it will take half damage.
Yeah, it's 48. For 46. 46.
Roll them dice. Roll that
You need
firepower.
How many?
Here's 4.
Oh.
As she's in this creepy
Oh,
childlike.
here's 2.
You remember that? She looks like a doll child right now.
Yeah,
Second
with
costume.
your big blonde curls. Yeah.
Do you have a fireball bracelet? Is that what that is?
No, she just has a
She has fireball.
Oh, you have
No,
a spell.
hard.
No, I have a necklace.
No, you have the necklace. I have the. No, you have the. Yeah, you have the necklace. I have the bracelet.
And sometimes
That's
bards
not
can
what
also
It's
choose
not this.
spells like fireballs.
I mean,
It's not that.
Depends on how she.
that's. I mean, I don't.
It is that. It is that.
It is not.
It's a
Oh,
necklace.
okay.
Do
Okay,
it.
so how many damage?
Half of whatever you rolled. So add all those up in the net.
No.
Is it
Half
6?
So target normally would take 8d6 if it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
she rolled 4.
So
Thank
4,
you.
that's how much
Thank
you
you.
take.
Okay, so
Cool.
7, 10.
10. Nice. All right. As you can hear the fire just hitting into this thing, it's screaming and writhing in pain. It definitely doesn't enjoy the sign. And as you hear that, you hear screams again in all those different voices. It's disturbing, the dissonance and the multitude of voices and sounds it's creating. It's cacophony and it's really alarming. All right, that is your turn, Lilith. Do you have a bonus action you wish to do? Any bardic inspiration, anything like that?
I'd like to cast Blade Ward on it, and it must make another Wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turn.
So good. Is Blade Ward a bonus action?
I don't
I think it might be a full action. It is a full action.
Okay.
Blade Ward is a full action, but you can do
I
that.
don't know
next
the
turn.
difference.
And-
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's it then.
You all set?
For
Do you
now.
want to move? Or are you good where you are?
I'm alright.
You're good. All right, Lilith, that is your turn. Moira.
Okay. I'm gonna lay on hands and immediately dump my pool.
The whole thing?
The whole 40 points
Okay.
because I'm at 34.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be back up, and I'm gonna sprint full speed.
Full speed. All right.
To it
Okay.
with required ready.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30?
Yeah.
You can get right in front of it.
Yeah. Am I entering Moonbeam?
No, you're on the cusp of the moonbeam. The moonbeam is currently, you see that square around
Oh,
it?
yeah.
See that
Is
big
it still
square?
within reach then?
What within reach?
The
The
ooze.
It's within the moonbeam. So if you want to hit into it, your arm's going to go into moonbeam.
Is there are there
Okay, cool.
are there connectings to the
Yeah,
Vitas?
if you look, you might be able to find it.
connections to
Can
the
I look?
Venus.
On your bonus action, I'll let you make a perception check.
So I know where to ho 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 ho. Where is my perception? Ho ho ho. 20. 30 20.
All right, you look up. You do find very thin connective tissues continuing to hold that. However, it's about 10 feet, 20 feet up because this creature is about 25 feet tall.
How high can a human jump? Is that something that I can reach?
I don't know. Maybe down the line. Let's see.
With
That
their-
sounds epic.
Yeah, with required
fire.
flaming.
And maybe. We'll
Like
have
you
to
know
talk
how
about
you know
it.
how in a lot of like spy movies or like
Yeah.
the Grey Mouse Detective, the rope and there's that fire underneath it that's slowly burning it. Can I do something like that?
Maybe. I mean, I'm one of those people who, in D&D, I
Give
know
me
your
some
jump
flavor.
stats. I say usually double your height. So how high are you?
She's
How tall are you? 6?
Something.
So I know it's kind of crazy to
Yeah,
say,
she's
but
tall.
I give you almost a
But also
5
with
to
a
6 feet
sword,
of jumping.
Add the sword
With
to
my
it.
sword on top. Required.
Next
I
round.
have an actual requider. I can bring it in next
Next
time. Oh no, I'm 5'4", so like 10.
But you do see that the strands seem to pull all the way to the backs of the creatures that are hitting them, so it's easier to be in front of the replicas it creates because the connective tissue kind of dips down behind them. So it's kind of dancing this thin little thread of life between the two of these things. It's like a little circulatory kind of connection. All right, that is your turn, Moira. Rowan, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so firstly, I forgot that I cast it at 4th level, so it should have taken 2d10. Is that right? Is that
Oh,
only
yeah.
when I make it go, or is that at the
I
start of the
believe
turn?
it might be the initial damage. Let me look this up. This is actually a very good question. All right. I believe it is just the initial damage because then as it continues on, it's just 2d10 radiant on the failed save, which changes. So I'm going to say that the initial damage is what doubles.
Okay. So then 3d10 for a regular. Is that right? This is one of those spell cards that's not fully explained on the
Oh,
card.
it's fine. I can look up anything you need.
Yeah. So at a 4th level moonbeam cast, how much damage does it take?
Oh, Moonbeam. It goes up according, and you cast it at 4th level, correct? All right. It's a 2nd level, so you cast it 2 levels higher. So it goes up 1d10 per slot level above second. So it would be, 2d10 plus the normal damage. So 4d10 in total.
40-10. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make the moonbeam beam.
Okay, so you're
on the
gonna.
blob.
Can you move it back a little bit so it just hits the back of the beast so that I can poke it from the front?
Yeah. So I move the moonbeam to
Okay.
its backside.
How
To
many
its
feet
backside.
wide is it? Is it taking up 10?
So I do because it's a 5-foot radius. I do it from the initial 5, and then I do all the squares around it. So it hits 9 squares.
Is there a way for her to do it behind the beast so it still gets hit, but I can still
Yeah,
jab
you
at it
can
without putting
push
my
it. It's a
hand?
large. This is a
Okay.
very large, it's a huge creature.
Okay.
So you could probably move it back and up a bit, so that way at least there's a 5-foot range that Moira can
Give
hit
me
it.
a 5-foot block where I can
it's-
stab it.
Alright, so I see Moira standing in front of it.
Yeah.
And I raise my claws and I go for its hind side.
All right, sounds good. So you're gonna run forward.
No, I'm doing this from behind.
Oh, you're doing it from behind. Okay, sounds good. All right. All right.
Not yet. So 1 plus 2 plus 7 is 9 plus 6 is 15.
15 points of damage. And did you cast Moonbeam again? Is that what happened?
It holds until
And
I
every
think, I think it's
round?
like call lightning.
It is kind of like Cold Lightning. I think the thing is, though, I think that, do you remember your initial roll? Your initial roll on that? You don't? All right, it's fine. It's fine. Because usually I say, remember that initial roll, because your Moonbeam continues that strength, and it's just that damage over and
Oh.
over and over again. So
Like
for the nat
witch
20,
bolts.
it would have been good, because you could have continued
Yeah.
that. But we'll stick with this for now, and in the
Okay.
future, depending on the
Yeah,
spells,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
make sure we remember that, because I want to make sure you
Okay.
get all that damage.
Okay.
All right, but 10 points, right? You said?
It's 15.
15, thank you. Yes.
And then
That thing has not left the moonbeam, and just more of that light just shucks down on it. It's engulfed in that silvery white light.
and then with my bonus action, I want to go up to Fauna. So I want to be like.
Oh
he's
yeah,
right
technically
there.
speaking, you can use your action to move it,
Oh.
but that would take your full action.
Okay.
So you know what I will say? It took your full action, but because it was still activated and still within it, the damage still occurs. So you don't have to do like a second spell, so that it actually all holds. But it's just a good thing to know. As there's a lot in Moonbeam. I'm like reading the 4
Okay.
paragraphs. I'm like,
Yeah, it's a big chunk.
This is the first time I've used Moonbeam.
She
It's
can't
great.
move in addition.
Sometimes.
no, she can move.
You can
I
still
just
move.
there's no secondary action, but you can still move.
Okay.
You can still move.
Okay.
And what's your speed as a creature? As your creature?
a creature,
Yeah.
I can move. My speed is 40 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do you want to keep going?
To
I wanted to
Fauna.
keep going right in front of Fauna, like to
Okay,
the side.
35.
here.
Yeah, you can get right to there.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Right in front of her, protecting her. All right. So that is your turn then. Correct? Unless you have a bonus action you wish to do.
Is it a bonus action to smell? It says I have advantage on wisdom checks that rely on smell. A wisdom perception check. I want to smell where the strand is.
I'll let you do it on your bonus action. Roll a perception check.
Okay, that's cool.
Technically, yeah, I'm gonna give you also. You can have advantage on smell. Sure.
16.
16. Okay, yeah. You have a very odd scent that comes to your nose of sulfur. You never caught this before, but as an animal form, you can tell 100% it smells like sulfur. As you can kind of turn, and you know exactly where this thin fabric is. It's right next to her, right there. It's a very thin line.
Oh, so is it connected like to
It's
that?
connected to the back of Vita. You can see it very slowly. Those little squares, the little D6s represent Vitas right now. It's
Okay.
replicating Vitas.
Okay.
Scooby.
Goo Vitas.
I'm imagining like
No,
an
actually, it looks
astral
just like
projection
Vita.
screen.
It does look just like her. Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
I was imagining like an astral projection silvery cord attached to the source.
Yeah, it's like a thin. It's like more like a
Okay.
circulatory blood, like pumping,
vein?
like a vein of life.
Ew.
That is connected to it, that is feeding its energy. It's from this red ooze, so it's very,
It keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
yeah. No more description, Kelly, no more. Okay,
This isn't
but
Halloween.
that is your turn. And we now go down to, your worm continues
boy?
to hold.
Yeah, he's just gonna stay there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say Giles is rallying troops, but also shouting expletives in the back, like, get him, girls, like, I can kill him! This is murderous butt! Murderous butt so bad!
If any of these people start to walk forward, the worm's just gonna look at them and go.
Oh yeah, and that worm is like,
big weird face.
and it's a creepy looking worm.
like the dune worms, the spice
Yeah,
worms. Just
yeah. Oh, and they do not want to. Like all of the elves are like, oh,
it's
back
weird
away.
looking. My
Um,
wormy boy.
A couple of them sound a little worried that their king is fighting you guys. They don't really understand what's happening.
If the worm could.
If the worm could. So that is their turns, and Lala, you're up.
So last time I chugged my potion of fire breath and I breathed.
You did. That was your last action.
So is breathing the action or is it like a bonus action?
It would require a full action to use that, to use your fire breath. If that's the
I'm
question.
just gonna breathe fire on this Vita thing.
Okay, great. You're gonna hit the creature.
Yeah, so dex save.
Okay.
Peace. Which is this
Oh
tiny
my gosh,
pixie.
it rolled a nat 1. So this is what I'm gonna describe that happens. You let out this grand fire breath, and all of your fire is not hitting it. Like the fire is just dissipating off of it, like it's invulnerable. As you continue to like breathe fire on it, it's taking absolutely no damage whatsoever. And it's a physical form, but because it rolled a 1, it turns around, and I'm gonna say that you see just enough of that 1 inch connecting its main body to whatever's behind it, and then your fire breath hits it just in the way that it slices that tether in half, and it disappears.
Okay.
But you would definitely notice that as you're breathing fire on it, it's like her face is flawless, her makeup is
just,
still
like,
perfect.
How dare she? Can I just shout to Fauna?
Yeah.
Don't use fire on Vita.
All right, sounds good. And that is your action. Do you have a bonus action?
I might as well cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Yeah, sounds good. You have marked that hunt. Well done, Lala. Moving on over to Fauna.
Okay. Can I see the connector on her back?
You would have to roll a perception check on your bonus action to try to see that. It's very hard to see.
I also yell, she's connected.
Okay, I'm gonna attack her with a guiding bolt.
Oh, sounds good. All right. So you send out this guiding bolt at this creature.
Uh, 13.
Yeah, the guiding bolt cascades and hits the body and just dissipates, like no effect.
And then with my bonus, my spiritual weapon's still on.
Your spiritual weapon is still activated. Would you like to hit the ooze, which is now literally oozing? This is so great. I'm so glad I brought that.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger.
21.
21. All right, to hit that will hit. Roll for damage. That phoenix is clawing this thing apart.
10.
Nice. Yeah, your phoenix goes in on it. Like, it almost like dives into the red core of this creature with all of these tendrils and faces on it. Your phoenix is just slashing at them. You see its radiant claws like cutting off the heads that are screaming in pain from this creature. It's again disturbing, but your phoenix almost looks like it's engulfed in red fire. It's kind of cool looking, very phoenix-like. Nice.
Is the
And-
fire damage? Or is it like radiant?
It's radiant damage. Yeah. But top of the town, it is now its town.
No.
So
Are you sure?
It's
So-
like absorbing
It actually is. It's actually force damage.
Oh, it's at force now. I thought it was radiant. That's
My
great.
spiritual weapon is force damage.
Oh, that's good to know. So yeah, this thing is just forcing its way through this oozy-like creature, and I'm gonna say through sheer force. I'm full of puns today, you guys. Be careful.
Come on,
So, con save on its turn. Thank you. That one was not as good. That was a 11.
Yay, you take full damage.
Nice.
Ooh.
Was
Don't
it
forget
the
to
same
roll
amount?
This time.
Is it
2d10.
Oh, 2.
10. Wait, I thought you did it at 4. 4th level. Yeah, but that's for when it's my turn. When it just starts its
Yeah,
turn.
that's the
it's just
initial
2d10.
2d10 radiant damage rolls.
Yeah. But when
I-
it's my turn. So 10 points of damage.
10 points is a damage. It's really looking bad. This thing is like screaming in pain from all the the different damages it does. I think it's going to take a hint, and it's going to try to move
Is it close enough that I get a reaction?
out of it.
Is Venus-
It's going to stay within attack of you.
So you're gonna have to do that D4.
What?
The D4 that's being absorbed sword.
Yep, the
laser.
D4. The phoenix on top of it.
Does she get a reaction?
No, because it's remaining engaged with her. So if just something swings around on the flank to avoid things, it's technically not trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
All right. So it
do an
is
attack.
going to use its ability on you.
Is this a charming or possession? Or
Let me
Right.
see. It might be. Let me see.
You also have advantage.
I have advantage, but it also can't.
I have to read this. This is so odd. Because I don't see the.
I feel like the reason I did it is because it tried to do it to me earlier, and I learned that it was either a charm or possession.
It was a
Yeah.
charm, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I have to contest your strength. This is a strength check.
This is a strength
This is
check?
weird. Yeah. This is weird. I have to. Yeah, I need you to make a strength check. This is really weird.
Is
I've
this-
never used this before.
Dirty
What?
20. Dirty 20!
Okay.
With a nat
So what you feel here, I'm gonna say, there's a moment that there's this very strange, like lockup of your body, almost as if it was about to puppeteer your body in a way you couldn't understand. But instead, because of it's nat 1, it just like, yeah, you and your brain are like, and you just shock that thing out of it as like this wave of power comes out. Yeah.
My gauntlet.
Um, sounds good. That is technically its action. Let me see if it has a bonus that it was just to do. I think that is just gonna be it. I don't even know if I'm looking at its actions and it has a lot of actions, but not a lot of bonus actions, which is good for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so moving along. Lilith. Dang. You guys are fighting off this creature pretty well.
It's rolling a
It's
lot of
not
ones.
I've rolled so many ones. I rolled like 3 runs today already. All right.
Um,
Does it take that kind of a damage?
I mean, it takes physical damage. It just is the fire damage is super effective. I'm assuming because it makes it roll with disadvantage.
I see.
So fire advantage, fire damage is nice. I would say save some of the beads.
Yeah,
How many do you have left?
2.
2. I have 3. I would say save some. No, I have 4. Save some of them
Okay.
because it's really powerful.
I'm going to use my blowgun. I
Oh.
don't think I ever use it.
Yeah, use your blowgun.
Can you set it on fire?
I'm gonna put a poison ball
Okay, sounds
in,
good.
in the blowgun.
All right, roll to hit.
Oh. 10.
Yeah, you haven't used this blowgun before. You're like a little, and like you go to blow and it like kind of goes in the opposite direction. You're like, no, and you just spin it out just enough that it falls and clinks onto the ground. But unfortunately, that dart didn't quite work.
Did she lose that little pellet of poison?
I'll say
Or did
no.
she-
I'll say you can pick up that
And
pellet.
picking up the poison.
Pellet with
Yeah.
the poison. Chalice
Putting
from
it
the
back in
palace.
my little pocket.
Anything with your bonus action or movement, or do you want to just hold there?
I'll just I'll take my light crossbow, I guess.
Oh,
That's a
You already have
yeah, and you also already used one weapon to like change over a weapon
Okay.
two-handed would require a full action on that. So,
Then nothing.
all right, sounds good. You're just looking good.
Yeah.
You guys take it. As I'm trying to pick up this blow dart poison thing, I almost ate. All right, moving along. Moira, it's your turn.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby,
All right,
stabby.
roll to hit. Stabby, stab.
15.
Just misses as you go and try to hit the creature. And
I'm gonna do it again because I
Yeah.
have to attack twice. No, that was 6.
6. Okay, yeah, you're slicing into this, but having it move around you, it kind of you were already ready in the action. You just miss as you turn around.
Am I able to
Um,
move a little bit?
You are, but it seems like it has a reach with you.
I want to keep within melee, so I'm not disengaging.
Okay.
I just want to settle
Just, like,
over
get
to
a
my
little-
friends.
like get this
like
way.
go that way towards my friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say you could get to right about here,
Okay, that's good.
right in front of them. So a little line of you guys. Okay, sounds good. All right, that is your turn. Do you have a bonus action?
Do I? Yeah, I'm gonna ensnaring strike.
All right,
on
sounds
my
good.
weapon.
Get required ready to see if it can try to hit this thing next round. All right, Rowan, your turn.
That's all my spells. I'm sniffing for the cord. And I smell it, and I see it, and I'd like to slash it with my claws.
All right, roll to hit.
Oh,
Wait.
10 to
It
hit.
like landed on one and then it was.
I know. 10.
Yeah, unfortunately, your claw goes wide, and you're not able to quite get at this thing that seems to be moving and dancing nearby.
Try again with the other claw.
Okay, sounds good. Roll to hit.
12.
This thing is moving way quicker. You feel like a cat trying to get a piece of string, and it's just not quite getting there. Would you like to move though in any sort of way?
Yes. I would like to move.
Moira's right in front of you, and Fauna's right behind you. Oh, if you move to there, you will go out of melee with the creature.
That's okay.
It will have an opportunity to attack against you.
Oh,
It has.
if I go. Wait.
Does he move
So you
anywhere?
would have to. The most you can go, if you get to
20?
here, it has a reach of 5 feet. So you could only get to there, and then if you move one further back, you're gonna feel it lash out against you.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll stay there.
You want to just move around to the other side and flank the Vita?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, just kind of move back. You see it gurgling at you as you start to get too far away, and you just kind of hiss at it. All right, that is your turn. Giles, and Worm continue to hold back. I'm assuming. Moira, Worm and Giles continue to hold down the fort. They're pretty much out.
Gonna stay there.
All right, I'm gonna say they're protecting everybody until we say otherwise, and then Alala.
I'm going to shift, and then I'm gonna use my last fire breath on it.
Where would you like to move?
Just out of. I just don't want to breathe fire on Moira.
Like right there?
Yeah.
Right there? Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna blow my fire breath, so it needs to make a dex save.
All right. Wow, I'm never rolling this dice today.
No, you
I
should.
have rolled
No, you should still.
so badly.
You should
no,
still
I know.
roll with that
No,
one.
I'm not
Yeah,
rolling.
it's
I'm
okay.
changing
It would
dice.
be
I'm
totally
changing my
fine.
dice. It made it's a dex save of 5.
Well, it is going to take
Jeez.
19 points of fire damage.
Oh my goodness golly.
Right, that's the math.
Good golly
That's the
gee.
math.
This thing, oh my goodness, yeah. With this is your last fire breath, right?
Yeah.
Can you show me what it looks like? Tell me what it looks like. Paint the scene of it.
See Lala hovering in the air, frustrated that she didn't get to set this fake fire or this fake Vita on fire, so she just and is gonna yell while she's breathing.
You're like
fire.
Fussro dying. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And then there's just fire.
Yeah, and it's just again, it's like your mouth. I'll say
But
that
I'm
your
just
mouth, like your mouth opens to the size of your body. It's like 9 inches.
Oh my
As
god.
all of this fire, just like circular cone of energy, like that one Pokemon with that big,
Hyper beam!
yeah, with
Yeah.
a big snoz. Yeah, it's just and all this fire's coming out. You do a massive amount of damage to it, and it's
Amazing what it
really
is.
it's screaming in pain. It looks the faces now, though they had looked like they were shouting different words or had different expressions on them. There's a very common expression, which is an expression of pain, and maybe even a little bit of fear is coming across some of those black sockets within the form.
Lala,
It's
you should
very-
get heartburn more often.
Nice. Okay, all right, that's your turn. That's my turn. Fauna.
I'm gonna pull my brother's short sword and just slash at her. Can I
All
do
right.
that?
Yeah, you might have to get just 5 feet towards it.
Oh wait.
Oh,
no,
Vita?
her Vita
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
you turn to
And,
Vita. Okay.
Yeah, I wanna like slash.
Yeah.
I wanna slash towards like her back, where like the thing's attached. Can
Have
I
you
see
seen it yet? I don't think you've seen it successfully. Roll a quick. You know that Lala had mentioned it now. You know
Yeah.
these things exist. Just roll on your bonus action a quick.
But then I can't do my spiritual weapon.
Oh well, I can have you roll to hit with disadvantage. Would you choose that? Like, sure,
No.
yeah, I'll go for it, and then you roll with disadvantage.
What
What would you prefer?
I'm just gonna attack her with my sword
Okay, sounds good. So roll to hit.
because I want my spiritual weapon to do its thing. Nope. 9.
I will say this: you swing and you hit it, but it's like hitting stone as you feel like a wobble back from your sword. Like you hit her, but like
So I
you
can't
feel
attack
nothing.
Her. Okay, well then my spiritual weapon's gonna do its thing.
All right, the phoenix wrapped within the thing. Oh, it does have to move because it was technically over here, and then it
Okay.
had to move here on
Move
its turn because the creature moved. Okay.
Critical hit.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nat 20.
Double damage.
Double damage.
Let's see what happens.
I might have just used a snaring strike for nothing.
15.
Wow. That's just enough to kill it because this thing was about to get out of course. Like it was about to get out of dodge. It was going to
Yay,
bamf out.
Phoenix.
Just enough to kill it and not have to deal with it. So tell me how this spiritual weapon kills this creature with just enough to get it.
My phoenix flies in, its wings flapping, and it just takes its beak and it does a nosedive straight into it.
Okay, great. Yeah, your phoenix
That
does
is
that,
really
turns up. It's kind of its sparkling, radiant summoning energy and just nose dives down. And it hits into what it looks like right now, like a bunch of fiery faces. It's kind of a scene. And as your phoenix rises from the literal ashes of the creature, all of this red gunk and these faces just screaming in pain as the ooze just hits the floor and starts to melt and dissipate away with the sound of
Like that.
hissing, and screams, very quiet screams that are slowly fading. So, that was a successful battle. Yes! Squeeze the ooze! Squeeze the ooze! It's a hand squeezy. Stretch. Oh, jeez.
I pet the tiger.
Well done. So, as a very intense battle had just occurred, and griffins fly overhead in the Waterdeep. It settles. The battle settles. You can hear Giles just screaming like, "Yeah, you got him! You got him!" There's a lot of commotion happening in the hallway, a lot of confusion. But right now, all you know is you just massacred whatever that thing was. Also, I will say it is giving off this faint scent of sulfur, but you see now, you hadn't been able to look, because whatever sort of hallucinatory or transmutation effect it had to make it look like there was a big throne, and then this creature on it, and then it transformed into the full creature itself. It was very hard to understand what it was, but now that you guys are able to just breathe, in the dark pocket in the corner of the room, you see that there's just a heap of bodies, and Vita's is on top of it.
Vita?
Yeah, Vita's body is right on top.
Like the real one?
It looks like it might be, and you see a lot of different creatures like just beneath it, apparently hiding behind or above, or this creature was.
We've got to get out of this layer of despair.
Do you have Revivify yet? Can I walk up and sniff and smell if it's indeed, like, use my
Yeah,
saber-tooth
please
tiger
do.
wisdom
Just make
sense
a
to smell if it's
though.
the real Vita's body?
She's probably been dead more than
Make a quick perception check.
Well, I
can
wanted to
try.
make a wisdom. Yeah. Okay. A wisdom check on
Sure.
smell.
Sure, if you want to make it like a scent wisdom, I will
Yeah.
allow that.
Okay. So 18.
18.
I want to know if it's
Very
The real
cautiously, you approach this pile of bodies in different levels of decay. The ones on the bottom look like they are much more skin and bones. You approach Vita, you sniff her. She still has warmth in her. There's still like a body, like it's her body. That's Vita. 100% that's Vita.
She still has
What does it
warmth in
run?
her.
You can sense that like her skin, it has not yet gone true cold.
I nudge. I use my nose and I nudge her to roll her off the pile and pounce down really quickly before she lands on the ground, so she lands on top of me back.
Uh-huh.
And I carry her over
Yeah, like completely
to Fauna,
slack.
being the cleric, and I slink her onto the floor.
All right.
Can I cast it at a higher spell level?
What are you trying to do?
Revivify.
Yeah, you can certainly try.
Has it been more than a minute?
You might find out.
But she's still warm.
Can I make a really quick medicine check, maybe?
Sure,
to
make a
see?
quick medicine check. Yeah.
Probably not going to go very well. I only have a +1, but 15.
I'm pretty good.
Okay, yeah, you take a moment, you wait
I
as
could do it
Fauna's
too.
kind of freaking out a little
She
bit.
helps me.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you're just freaking out.
I'm just freaking
You're
out.
freaking out. Like Fauna's freaking out about like this Vita's
She's
dead.
my idol.
And you take a moment, you calm down Fauna, you put your ear to her heart and, try to understand. There's no breathing, there's no heartbeat. But there is a very slight warmth from her body. Like she couldn't be gone for more than a couple minutes, but you think it might have been a little bit over a minute.
I'm gonna call my worm over.
Okay.
I'm going to put her body on top of it so that we can try and get her back. Maybe they have a more powerful cleric there that can bring her back. I'm going to look through the other bodies. Is there anyone that we recognize?
I'll make a quick investigation check. Would anybody else like to do
I'd like
anything
to
within here?
investigate. I'd like to see if there's any cool objects in the bodies.
So roll an investigation check for objects. What would you guys like to do? Lilith and Lala, anything in particular?
Well,
Is this
I
scene?
kind of took my job.
I rolled.
which was
I
like-
rolled another 20.
Oh my gosh.
20.
Sorry, I don't know what I bumped.
It's the same number.
I guess I'll just do an investigation as
But
well.
I'm investigating for objects and like clues and stuff. Like, I'm not just
And clues.
Perception?
What am I rolling?
Investigation.
10.
Looting.
10 investigation and
It's investigation?
yes.
13.
13. And what did you?
I'm
If anything.
sniffing to find the quickest way above ground.
Okay, sounds good. And
Natural
so,
20.
Nat 20.
Oh my god!
and
It's
so
all
that
over
two
there.
nat 20s. Okay.
I got an 11.
I will say this: you guys are looking around. This is a fairly bereft place. Like, there's not much here. It is stone cold. Without the light from the quieter, it would be very dark in here. It's disturbing, and there's just that pile of bodies where that throne had sat. Otherwise, as empty as the moment you walked in here. Besides this very strange creature, it's a little uncomforting. But you guys don't find any like secret doors, trap doors, any other way out of here. This is just the holding place of something. The two of you take a moment, you sniff around, scenting every pocket and corner, and the only thing that smells like it could be anywhere near the outside is unfortunately you guys. Like, if you're going to try to get your way out of here, you'd probably need to elicit the help of somebody who understands the network of this place. So, like, Giles maybe now, but
Maybe
definitely
those-
these creatures.
Those guys.
But
Maybe. We did just kill their
But they
king.
are angry.
Well, I don't know if they're angry. I think they're scared.
They were angry that she turned into.
They don't recognize me anymore. I'm a doll.
She's,
Oh,
a,
yeah,
she's a
that's-
little girl.
I'm a doll.
You are now,
Um,
thankfully.
And they love Moira. They're here to help Moira.
Weirdly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
You, however, you, after searching through the bodies, like you deducting, okay, in order to get above ground, we're going to have to get the help of some people who understand this, because I cannot smell the earth anywhere
So
near
I fell
here.
back over to where they are, and I'm like,
So let's speak with him.
Is Vita still on your back, though? Or
No,
is
no,
Obi
now
later
she's
on the
on
ground?
The worm.
She's
She's on
now-
the worm. On my wormy boy.
Sorry, Sin.
I'm gonna save
Where's
her.
my steed? Did I see anything in the bodies? Did I see any faces that I recognized?
No, you don't recognize any of these people or creatures. A lot of them have been decayed. A few of them look like they used to be creatures similar to the elves that
Okay.
you have met, the deformed elves.
I'm gonna start
So,
cataloging who it is, just in case they're a missing person, so that at least if someone up above is missing someone, they know.
yes, and there's about 10 distinct bodies you can tell. So you kind of catalog these bodies. A couple of them look very deformed and strange. Vita really looks like the only one who maybe is
Yeah.
the one that's like fresher or like more normal looking. There is one, you haven't told him yet, but you see one gnome that looks very similar to Giles' forest gnome.
I'd like to lay them out so that they are all just very respectful and say a prayer to Helm for them.
Okay. So you take a moment and you begin to pray. You, Moira is also taking the bodies away, and you're kind of looking through the bodies as she's like, bringing them down to bring them to rest. As you're doing so, you catch that in the hands of one of these creatures, long withered, does appear to be a journal of some sort. And you pick it up, and it's written all in Elvish.
I can read Elvish.
Great. But the first few pages, it seems to be a diary, and you read it as it's like a catalog, and you don't really understand what this is. But what you see most distinctly is like marks of different sort of groups that seem to be numbered. Like there's one section that says group 1, 34, group 2, 28, Group 345. And it's just like this list of groups and numbers. And the book's it goes a little bit, it goes about 4 pages in. And then you have a feeling you're going to have to sit with this for some time to understand exactly what this is or what the information's about.
Okay, I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna animate some of these dead.
Be respectful.
Maybe some of them wanted to go.
But this is the thing, if I take them, then maybe we can bring some of them back.
That's true.
And so they're gonna come with us.
Or if anything, we can give them a proper burial, not down here.
Yeah. Is it Moira, is it bad for me to animate?
I mean, a little bit, but that's
But
the
they could
nature of the
also
spell.
Fight for us.
That's true.
If
Just
we
say
need them.
say a quick prayer to Lathander, and then
This is for their good, because maybe we can bring them back, right? Right, Lathander?
just be respectful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will put makeup on them like Mr. Hopkins. He was back. Not
Mr.
Mr.
Bubbles.
Mrs. Bubbles. Sorry.
Okay.
Grandma
And you're
Bubbles.
going to animate some of the dead here? Are you going to create zombies? Because there's some that have half-rotted flesh and then some that are true skeletons. So it's your choice, I believe.
Zombies or skeletons. Let me look at their stats really fast.
That's the most disturbing thing to ask a 14-year-old girl.
I'm going
Wanna create
to.
zombies?
Okay. Question: do you guys think it's bad if I animate Vita?
Ooh, let's wait on Vida.
Okay.
Because also imagine Farland seeing that. We're going to look very
Guilty.
bad.
Mhm.
We're going to look very bad.
I'm gonna animate 3 skeletons.
Okay, sounds good. So you go forward, you get the ones that look most withered away, and you kind of bojangles them up into 3 sizable skeletons, which you now have.
Okay. Come with me.
And we will make them
Come
these
with me.
little orbs for right now, and I will get some skeletons out of my minis case momentarily. But for now, they will represent with these little D6s around you.
Alright, skeletons, you have now joined us. You are fighting for the greater good, and I can't make any promises because I'm not powerful enough. But maybe one day we'll be able to bring you back to your form. Again, I can't make any promises, but thank you for joining our team. You're really cool. Thanks.
Like they all
Very
kind
respectful.
of like nod at one another, and then one of them goes to talk, and the jaw just falls off, and then he
Oh,
has to like
no.
pick it up and put it back on.
Sorry. Good job putting it back on.
But yeah, you've got this little party of skeletons standing around you.
I motion toward the
I'm going to go over
the
there.
hallway.
I'm going to go to the group that's still there.
Okay, yeah, this large group in the hall, about 15 or so, all different kind of versions, but right now you're speaking to the ones who are mostly the more like translucent gray white skin,
I want to talk to Keep.
who have no hair. What?
Keep.
Oh, you want to
The
talk
one
to Keep, the
that's-
leader.
Yeah.
The leader. Okay, she's very eyes bulgy, taking it all in. Many of them are not talking or have been hushed after watching the battle for a little bit. They have no idea what's going on, and she wide-eyed.
So your king tried to kill us.
What was that?
I don't know.
That was absolutely. I'm very confused.
As am I. If I didn't know better, it would have seemed like you just tried to lure us to our death.
I don't think I wasn't trying to kill you by any means. We were told that you were supposed to help us. So I don't understand. And like all of them like are kind of wailing. Like they're falling to their knees in this strange cry. It sounds like they're crying or for a loss or like wailing. And it doesn't. It's very.
Moira and I say, just tell them that we're here to help.
Are you willing to leave the Undermountain?
They look confused about where they are.
You're underground. That should be obvious enough. You're underneath a giant mountain. I would like to. I know it's going to be very jarring, but I think it might be best for you if we took you up to Waterdeep, which is the massive town essentially above us.
Waterdeep. We know Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
That is home.
It's not going to look at all like what you
We were
remember.
told not to go home until we got orders from you. So if that's what you wish to do.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've been told, what's going on? Also, I'm curious about that necklace you're wearing. Can you take it off? I'm just curious.
If you take it off, will it hurt? Will it like kill you?
I don't know. I don't know. This has been on me for some time.
Don't take it off. What I'm kind of worried about is I have the sense that this is what's keeping you alive. That maybe it's what brought you back.
Is there anyone in your party you don't like that you can ask them to
No, we're not going to kill
Oh,
someone.
there's Germany.
Germany?
His
What an
name's
odd
Germany.
name.
Germany.
Is Germany a bad person?
No, we don't like him as much.
No, we're not going to
His car sales are too
potentially harm Germany.
He makes too much money. in car
Germany and his
sales.
child's yacht.
Germany.
We're not going to
It's a
harm.
chariot sale.
No, we're not going to harm Germany. No.
Oh, we don't
I
like
know.
him though. If we must.
So do you know where Waterdeep is? How do you get there?
Is that you and her character?
In her child.
She's
It looks like from what you guys can gather, you start talking to them. They've never been above ground since they've been here because they've been waiting for the instructions from their god for Moira to come and give them some guidance. It's a weird chat, but Giles kind of says, taking it all in, and just stands up and he goes, "Hey, listen, if there's one thing that I'm good at, it's finding ways out of things."
Wait, you haven't been very helpful.
No, I haven't actually. But what I mean by that is that I'm cunning and smart, and I understand layouts of forests pretty well. So I think the same might apply here. And actually, I made pretty good friends with one of the elves, and one of them just kind of waves. It's like this younger looking guy with all these boils on him, and he's not pleasant to the eye, but he's certainly like smiling awkwardly.
Nice enough.
know how to get up
So,
to Waterdeep. then
he
you
at least can take
ditch
us
them.
in the right direction.
No, we're not ditching it.
What did you say?
He can at least take us in the right direction, because apparently we're not, from what I can gather, and from what I know, though we were in the Undermountain, we weren't formally in the true Undermountain. We were just in a section of it that is most above ground, because it could go deeper.
God,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
not
we
go
don't
We
deeper.
don't want to go deeper.
I didn't even realize that there was this much danger. I knew it was
Mhm,
dangerous.
mhm.
but-
Do we need to burrow?
I agree, Rowan.
She could burrow. If we need to burrow to get out
I'm
of
not
here.
a wild shape
Okay.
slots, but I'm just pointing up, like, take me above ground.
And it seems like Giles is talking to the elves here. Though they don't know what above ground is, they know an area where the air is cleaner. And they go there sometimes to take in fresh air. And sometimes they see like very strong light that hurts their eyes.
We go
So
there.
this sounds like it might be a break within the atmosphere here.
I want you all to know it's probably going to be very jarring to see this place because I don't think it's going to look anything like what you remember. But I'm going to take you to the Temple of Helm.
Do you think we will be welcome?
I,
You seem very confused about who we are. Are we?
Well, I certainly am because if you're who I think you are, then you've been dead for a very, very long time. And that's quite a thing. You're, not to sound callous, but your existence feels like an omen.
That's quite callous.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to come out that
That's yeah,
way.
and all of them are nodding
I'm-
slowly, like that's a little callous.
But I would
quite-
also like to take you to a safe place.
She's listening. She nods. Again, they seem to like there's like a lot of confusion running amok, a lot of questions. So when she turns around and reports to all of them, they kind of swarm her with questions, trying to understand what's happening. As they pull away from you guys a little bit, she's trying to calm them down.
I would like to make a perception check.
Sure.
I'm going to see if there are any roots within the walls.
I would say with her perception check, and from what you've walked through here, there's clearly no roots or trees all the way down. You don't know how deep down you're in, but there's no trees. You haven't seen any roots since that initial entrance where the squirrels had all taken you.
I'm gonna cure wounds on myself really fast.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, cure wounds.
My tail is flicking in impatience to get outside.
Let's
Rowan
head.
is getting
Yes.
yes.
As this conversation is happening,
Claustrophobic.
Keith turns towards you and says, I appreciate you bringing us out to the open, but there are hundreds of us.
I would like to take at least some of you now. Maybe come back for the rest of you later. But whatever is afflicting you, the boils and the, I'm sure it must hurt. And I feel as if we brought you to the Temple of Helm, they might be able to help and maybe figure out what's going on with you, why you've been brought back.
Then we'll all go together, and she looks around at the 15 of them, and we're leaving everybody behind?
We'll come back. Are they safe?
Then maybe you can. I think so.
Oh, actually, another question. When I opened my senses a while ago, I sensed a celestial being. Do you know what that is?
Looks at you very confused.
Okay, never mind. Actually, I'd like to open my senses again.
Okay.
And see if I...
Um,
it's in here.
It takes a moment. You open up celestial senses, and how far does that range again? It's 60 feet?
Divine sense is 60 feet.
You do not pick
Celestial,
up celestial
fiend,
here.
or undead.
You don't pick up celestial, fiend, or undead here. It is
I
quiet.
don't pick up undead?
You don't.
The skeletons are...
Oh wait, the skeletons were remade. You pick up undead. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I forgot 3 skeletons were made. You pick
They
up.
didn't pay
You ping up if you're sitting near them and they're all like, and then the one's like, huh, and his jaw falls off and he puts it back up. He's like,
oh, alright.
as he sense you doing undead. But yeah. So that's what you
How
feel.
far can it go?
A mile.
A mile. Can you pick up celestials?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm too curious to know what this celestial is. Would you rather just leave now?
I'd like to leave soon. I have some questions for you. Okay. Who have you talked to down here? Besides, obviously, this group of people you know and others like you, has there been anyone else that you've talked to who's like giving you orders or anything like that? Like any elves or gnomes or people or
We've
anything?
been mostly, from what I can remember, praying and seeking guidance from
How
our
did
God.
you just woke up? Who's your god?
Helm.
Okay, so you just woke up and you were just praying. Is that all that's happened? What do you remember? I have so many questions.
Me too.
We remember a large battle, and we are now here. That's what we remember.
Interesting. Very interesting. Did you meet Vita?
Vita? No. And you remember they didn't know who Vita was?
She was like,
Confused.
if you saw that ooze turned into a person, that person should be the live person. This dead person on the centipede.
They all kind of shake their head like they had not seen her.
Okay, thank you. If I think of anything else, I'll come back.
Okay. She just kind of nods confused.
While she was talking, I cast Primeval Awareness.
Okay, cool. And what does that pick up on again?
It picks up
In a
on
mile radius, right?
aberrations, yes, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Okay. So many things. And you pick up on so many of those things. The only thing I would say right now that you're not picking up on, mostly beneath you, for the most part. Out of that long list. Again, can you say here, go down the list and I'll say yes, yes, no, yes, yes.
Aberrations?
Yeah.
Celestials,
Yes.
dragons,
Yes.
elementals,
No.
fae,
Yes.
fiends,
No. Yes. Ish here. It's on
and
the
then
cusp.
definitely undead because there's at
Yes,
least
and
3
undead.
of us.
So pretty much everything except elementals.
If she runs around, does she get a sense of like it's stronger for celestials in this direction?
Not with that spell. No, it just says
Oh!
It
nay,
just
nay.
says I know
I had to look it
if
up.
it's
wanna
there,
know.
but I
Stigate.
don't know how many
It's a
there
mile.
are or where they are.
Tells you there's a lot of
just know
things
that
in this
there's-
area.
Some things are in and I'd like to leave.
I want to. Yes.
Let's get out of here. I'm tired. I want to bring my skeletons to the light.
Me too.
Yeah, let's
Gosh.
move.
I'm so
Move, move,
hungry.
move.
Will you be able to take us? She's talking to Keep and the elves. Will you be able to take us to where you saw the light? Or
They'll
Vita
kind
and-
of nod in confusion. She's like, yes, but if you're not going to take all of us, I don't want to leave our prayer family behind.
can I take like one or two of you? What I would really like to do is get you to the Temple of Helm, heal you, and perhaps help you get back some of your memories so we can sort of understand what's happened.
They seem confused, but Keep kind of calms them down. Can you roll a persuasion check?
Okie dokie. 16.
Okay. Very hesitant, and it takes a little bit of calming down. Keep steps forward and says, I will go. I will leave with you and try to gather some information for myself and for you, but I will have to come back and make sure everyone's okay.
Of course. And I hope
My
that
duty.
you know if you are a follower of Helm, I will lay down my life before I let something happen to you.
Okay. That kind of calms her, and she begins to walk you guys out. It is a long walk through very dark and labyrinth-like complexes, and you guys actually passed for about the first half an hour to an hour as you're walking through this. A lot of those small chambers and those shrines, there's people within them and not within them, but you can collect and as you guys are all kind of just walking through and gauging the scene, there is definitely hundreds of these sorts of elven-like creatures in different areas. Some people are a little bit more aggressive or scared about seeing folk like you pass through, but the other elves are kind of standing around you, protecting you guys, creating a wall. And any of them, if there's any trouble that's almost stirring up, they are quickly, the anger's quickly quelled and everyone's explained to, and you guys make your way. It is slowing you down a bit, but you're able to kind of get through this network.
While we're passing all these doorways, I'd like to keep an eye out to see if there's one of those necklaces that isn't being worn.
Okay, sure. Roll a perception check as you are walking. If anybody else has any sort of information or curiosity, you can also let me know, and I can.
I'd like to.
You can't quite find one. It's too quick. You're walking too fast. They're all around you.
I tried to listen to bits
Yeah.
of conversation to see if I could get any clues or anything.
All right, sounds good. Just roll a perception check then.
I would also tell Lala to keep
And
an eye
I'll
out.
keep an eye out.
Okay.
She's the.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
10.
Yeah, it's very small. It's small talk, and there's a lot of confusion and calming down of emotions. You don't really gather any new information. Just like there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of like initial like are they here to hurt us? Are they here to do something? And it's like, no, these are our friends. There's a lot of those conversations as you guys are making your way up. Lala, what did you roll? A 1? Oh
I see
yeah.
Nothing.
So,
I see absolutely
You
nothing.
see nothing at all because you are. I want this to happen. This is why this is going to happen. You are looking around so avidly that you didn't even realize that you accidentally went into the worm's mouth and have been looking through the worm the whole time.
Oh my
like
god!
poking into the worm in weird locations. You didn't know where your friends were. You were kind of like confused, and then it like dawned on you, oh, I went into the worm, and you're gonna have to wait a little while to get out of the other end.
Hey, has anybody seen Lala? In a while.
Can I hear them?
Is she behind
Yes,
us?
very thin membrane.
I'm just gonna shout,
Lala.
I got stuck in the worm!
Do I
Oh
need
my
to
goodness.
We might need to cut her out.
No!
No, we just need to open his mouth.
Can you
Oh,
go
I am
back out
very
the way
hungry.
you came?
I
You're-
don't
you're
know
stuck-
which way is which.
Roll a nature check to see where you might be stuck between.
God. Oh. Why?
Uh,
My poor wormy boy. Why did you do this to him?
I didn't mean to. 11.
Yeah, the anatomy of the worm is confusing, and so you're in some sort of cavity, or next to something that you think is some sort of cavity. You're kind of like stuck between areas that you can breathe in, but it's like you're getting squished.
Lala, poke, like you're poking out of the skin. Maybe I can see if like I see any poking.
And what number did you roll again?
An 8.
An 8. Hold on, you're
Plus-
1, 2,
plus
3,
three.
4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no.
Oh no!
So I chose the 8th number because there's a list of the anatomy of a worm. So I'm gonna put you on the 8th thing.
What
And
is
what-
it? Is it like a poop thing?
You're in the spermicide.
In the testicle.
Callie!
How did you do this with the dice?
I'm in the
It's
what?
number 8.
Callie!
You're in the
Worm
spermicide.
balls.
Callie!
Spermicide.
I kind of wish it was poop.
Sorry, that's where you are.
You're in his bowl.
It also has an ovary. 'cause
I
worms
flick
can
its
reproduce
underside with
themselves,
my
so.
tail, trying to stimulate an ejaculatory response.
Oh my
God!
I'm done. I'm done. Bye.
I'll see you next time.
Is this stream done? I'm done with this episode.
I'm just like, no.
No.
I will not allow that.
No.
That's very funny.
No. No.
How's she gonna get out?
She can just
That's
wait.
my thinking. But
Can I, since my worm is a loyal, fantastic spiritual steed, can I ask it to just like,
I
Do
mean,
this
it looks
with
like
its
it's gonna
body
have to
and-
go
and-
through its gizzard and its intestine. It's
No,
gonna have to
no.
go through the full thing.
Oh
You're
my
in a bull
God.
sack right now.
I don't want to know this.
are you? Do I really have to cut my poor worm
Don't-
apart
no,
to get to you?
Don't open your mouth.
Just move forward.
We're
as
going
much
to
as you
figure
can,
something out. We'll
Jonathan.
probably literally gonna have to cut into the worm and
Just
kill it.
move.
No!
Get out of there,
I'm
Lala.
just gonna keep moving.
Yeah, you're gonna be in there for the next 30 minutes as you get
Ruin
Sorry,
a
guys,
9-inch bolt.
Ruined.
Pretty big.
My poor creature
As
just
we're-
Hey,
desecrated.
yeah, I like that you're more concerned about the worm than
Yeah.
you're about
You're sitting inside of his
Moira.
ball sack because you went in his mouth.
I didn't know I went in his mouth.
I know, that's the problem.
I was too busy looking for that stupid necklace for you.
Be careful talking too much. 'cause
Yeah, I was going to say,
you're not.
Lala, you really need to.
So,
Just move.
As we've been walking, I've
Oh
been
my
using my
God.
wisdom smell
Yeah.
to smell if I smell any other things that smell like Laurel's Silverhand.
Oh.
Any other stolen jewelries that might be down here.
Sure. What did you roll in that perception check?
I haven't rolled it yet. My passive perception is 13, by the way.
Okay. So you're keeping alert
So,
no matter
An
what.
advantage perception. So 14.
14. Okay. As you pass through, you have a feeling that as you're like catching that very faint scent of Laurel on a couple of these necklaces. However, it does seem like whatever magical properties these gems, these old gems, have been infused with, it has kind of dissipated the scent a bit. So you're not able to find any more of these jewelries, but you can definitely tell that the jewelry that everyone's wearing, including a lot of the other creatures that you have kind of interacted with as you guys are getting out of the network,
With their
all
magical
have those
necklaces.
necklaces that are glowing. Yeah.
Muted.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if it's just
I made
been
a worm.
replicated.
I'm sorry. What?
I made a worm. That's my worm.
Here's where Lola is.
No.
Oh, give me this.
I'm
Give
Lola's
me these
inside
guys.
here.
My tail.
Ooze privileges have been revoked.
I'm not.
First, we're gonna have to fight another one.
I'm not taking anything gross. I'm just
Give it
feeling
back.
my anxiety because my
Yes.
friend is stuck inside my massive worm.
Let's just get out of the
Let's leave. Can we
That's
leave?
what
Can we leave?
All right.
Can
So,
we leave?
does anybody
Look
have
at
any other curiosities as you guys are walking through?
Don't roll a 1.
No? Okay. I swear somebody rolled something and I had to hold on that while that situation was going. So apologies if I dropped on that. But you guys are making your way through in many more ways than one. It does take a while as you guys are navigating through everything. And a couple hours pass, you guys. This is not an easy trek. If you had any spells that only lasted an hour, they now diffuse, like your disguise self.
I only have what I
Hmm.
get.
And things of that sort, as well as a couple other spells, if you had them for an hour in total, would now be removed. And you guys have a feeling from knowing how long it took for you guys to get down here, it's going to be a long journey.
Can my worm help by carving us like a staircase up towards?
Your worm kind of approaches to do that, but all the other elves don't want anything defiled or created that could create any sort of issue with the interior of the structure, the architecture of what they've created, apparently.
Okay.
So they ask as they see him about to burrow, like, please don't do that. That's not good for our walls.
Oh,
They could collapse and kill us all. Why would you ever do something like that?
So no, we haven't done anything like that.
How often can I use my hat of disguise?
Once per day, I believe.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
Or it
once
might have
per
3
day.
charges, but you double check.
I have to look it up because it's not written on this thing.
Hat of disguise. Actually, that's a good question. I think it might be 1d3, but let's see how long it works. It says you can use your action to cast a disguise spell from it at will. The spell ends if the hat is removed. I would have to double check. I thought it only had 3 charges in it per day, but maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
Maybe I can wear my hat all the time and have 2 eyes.
Yeah, that might be exactly what you need to do. But that's I'll double check that once we have a break.
Has it been 4 hours?
It has been.
Okay.
You guys are now hitting the cusp of the 4-hour mark as you guys are going to. From what they can tell you, to get to the place where the air is fresh, it takes about 6 to 7 hours, maybe 8 hours of walking. It's a large network, and they don't often visit it because it's discomforting to them.
So I've transformed back into Rowan now.
Okay,
I
sounds
can
good.
only be an animal. But, hark! I feel like I do detect the smell of gingerbread, or at least I did when I was a tiger. And if there's anything a forest gnome from Glen Hollyhock knows, it's the smell of gingerbread.
Are we
And I
going
look to
to
Guile Giles.
Smelling gingerbread.
Can we go closer to the
I
gingerbread
I
smell?
think it might be right.
Is it Eventide season? Is it?
What is
I don't-
Eventide?
No, what that means.
Perhaps you might know it as Christmas tide.
Oh, I do. I do know that.
Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Some
I do
people
know
call
that.
it that, but we call it Eventide where we're from.
Eventide.
You'll see. Don't worry about it.
Lovely.
Decorations.
have Christmas in the city.
So excited.
Should be good fun. All right, so as you guys are kind of confused about this gnomish holiday that none of you guys have quite heard of, you guys begin to
treat.
you guys begin to make your way up through this network, this cavern, this kind of system of halls, and about 8 hours after walking, including a short rest if you guys need it. Oh yeah, I do need to
Half an
describe
hour
this,
through.
don't I?
Oh god, no, you don't have to. You
Do
don't
you-
have to.
I just
She
pictured
appears
like
later
that
on.
scene in Ace Ventura.
I know.
When he's coming out of the rhino.
Yes. I need you to make let's make this a strength saving throw.
Oh, that's my least.
I am going to stay with it. Hang on. I'm going to stay within 5 feet of her.
The whole
Wherever.
worm.
Yes.
Yeah. Train. Okay.
So that you can add 3 to it. You
Okay.
can add my charisma bonus.
Okay, neat. Because that is okay. So I rolled a 14, but then plus 3 is 17.
Okay. So throughout the journey, including things like acid pits and intestines and weird places you've gotten squeezed in between, you are going to take a total of 16 points of various sorts of acid and bludgeoning and piercing
I
damages.
assume my wings have been burned off. You said 16?
Yes. And yes, I am going to say that unfortunately, because of the acidity, your wings at some point had gotten caught in the crossfire and had been dissolved in the pit of one of the worms.
You don't have to clarify.
However, your strength check is to see if you can get out conveniently from the birthing area
Oh my
of
god.
the worm, and you burst forth a Lala reborn.
Ugh, as soon as she comes out,
covered in goo.
I'm
Covered
gonna
in
pick
goo.
her up and clean her off with some of my cloak and just set you on my shoulder.
Lala.
Are you awake, Scott?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, are you missing your wigs?
Are you okay?
Yeah, they'll be back in the morning.
Okay.
I could use a long rest
It's
myself.
alright.
Well, my
Giles
eye
puts
is
like a hand on your shoulder. He's like, "This happened to me."
How has that happened to you? You poor creatures.
I'm just gonna,
What is
gonna
going
put
on
my
in your
hand
eyes?
on his hand.
Creatures
Yeah.
getting into worm sacks.
I'm just gonna
Stay away from his mouth.
I don't want to go near it.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, so Giles,
Next time it's gonna be
and
an
you,
elk, not a worm.
Moira,
I've learned.
in solidarity,
I've learned my lesson.
continue your trip. And you do come upon what appears to be a little bit fresher air. You hear the sound of wind very faintly in your ears. And you swear you see in the far, far distance, in this very long stretch of hallway, around a corner, some sort of white light. And you guys have not seen a light like this, and sometimes there's a different sort of lights from fire and require. But this is like a white light, like a crisp white light, like the white of sun. And it's just like kind of piercing into the hallway. And even the elves who are walking with you are going to have to kind of shield their eyes because they're not used to this sort of terrain and this sunlight, this jarring sunlight. So you guys are approaching it, and you're kind of far away, but they're pointing in that direction. And Keep kind of points forward and says, "That's it. That's where we sometimes would." A long time ago, I believe, weeks, months ago. I don't even know at this point. We come up here to hear the sound of waves. It's nice.
Let's go out there where the light is.
Are you going to be okay out there? I know that you've been in the dark for a long time. Are your eyes going to be okay?
I don't know what might be on the other side, but I certainly, I'm certainly ready to face whatever it might be.
If it is too bright out, you can close your eyes and I will help guide you.
And one of the other elves like grabs you guys and like looks to you and like says, "If Keep is hurt, that you gotta let us know if anything happens.
I will not allow her to be hurt.
She's the only one here who can keep it together. We're all a little
Hence
It's
the
not
name.
weird.
different, aren't we?" And they all kind of nod.
She keeps you together. Keeping it together.
I will not allow her to be harmed.
Cute.
Right, they take that to heart, and Keep begins to walk with you guys as the rest of the elves just kind of like backtrack and try to stay away from this very jarring light. Some of them apparently have never seen this before, had never been brought up to here, so they're a little bit more curious than that. But for the most part, the rest of them are getting ushered out, and Giles like kind of waves goodbye to them, as the back of the worm is kind of waving goodbye in unison.
Oh.
And yeah, it looks like down in the distance, and you can smell definitely. With your little gnomish nose, you can
just
smell
skipping
in the distance. There is definitely some spice, some sort of cardamom and ginger in the air, though they can't scent it. You can smell it right away though.
I'm gonna dance with Rowan and I'm gonna get my skeletons to be our backup.
So these, do you have names for them?
Oh, I haven't named them yet. We'll find them today. Will you help me?
Holly and Jolly and Mary.
Holly Jolly Berry. I like it.
Holly, Jolly, Mary? Alright, I'll write this down so I do not
God,
forget this.
that's
Holly, Jolly, and Mary. Very cute.
I'm terribly hungry.
Great. Okay, sounds good. So you guys are making your way outside. Sun is bright, and there is a very small opening. It's like it's a circular kind of opening. It's no more than maybe 4 feet wide on either side. It's not huge, but it almost looks like a window out into what you see before you as beautiful sea, just cascading and crashing around.
Can the worm, like, blast his head through? Are we able to communicate at all? Is
You
there like a
can kind of-
psychic connection
there
between me
is-
and my steed?
I believe with Fine Seed, you have to look that up, but I think that you can order it to do things. Like you can communicate it, you can tell it to do things.
I just want to know what it sees. If you
Yes,
can tell
it
me.
can serve as your mount. You have a bond with it.
A bond. Yeah.
James Bond.
Oh. So the steed has the statistics of a chosen form, but it is celestial, fey, or fiend instead of its normal type. This is a celestial giant worm.
Yes.
It has
Yes, it
celestial
does.
springs.
You do look extra sparkly, Lala.
Thanks.
But yes, I don't know if there's a particular there's a bond, but there does not to be there's no way to communicate unless it has an intelligence above a certain amount, which I don't think this worm has.
Probably not. Probably not.
Also, by the way, the necklaces all rather smell like the Rel Silverhand.
What necklaces?
Just saying.
The ones that they were wearing.
The ones that they were
What is it?
Aye, and the one that's on Keep,
here.
right?
No,
Does Keep
it's
have a
a
necklace?
Yes, Keep has a necklace. She's walking forward.
Keep, you want to know about a character named Laurel Silverhand, would you?
No, I wouldn't. But
Any
Who is that?
Silverhands?
She's the master lord.
Gold
of Waterdeep.
hands?
there's no Max Lord in Waterdeep.
There is. There's a lot that you're going to be finding out.
You better brace yourself. Would you like a toke from my herbalism kit? I have a feeling the outside world might be a bit overwhelming.
What is
Would
that?
you?
It's essentially a dragon.
Oh, sure,
Right.
yeah.
It's what I'll keep you calm.
she's gonna go in on it. Sure, I think she's had quite a
I-
day.
She's going to need
I
it.
puff. Lala wants him to. I don't want to be high, so I just puff enough out, and I don't inhale it to my lungs, and I very coolly blow it into Lala. It'll give you certain advantages as well. And then I offer it to Keep.
Oh, she takes it. She hits it, and she's like,
Like a pro!
What advantages does it serve?
Kelly,
Yes.
remind us what advantages and disadvantages being high.
I have to find those. I
I wrote them
believe here
down.
it is. It being quote unquote high with Rowan's herbalism kit gives you wisdom, advantage on wisdom checks, disadvantage on dexterity checks and dexterity saving throws.
Sounds about right.
It also gives you where's the one? Oh, it's just like a disadvantage on things that require dexterity, so things like acrobatics and athletics.
All the things I'm good.
But it gives you advantage on all things wisdom. So that's like your medicine checks, your perception checks, your survival checks,
Saves?
and
so
your
funny.
animal handling.
Wisdom
Yeah.
save?
So your dex becomes
Just
all the
checks,
dex-based checks and saves become
Oh,
disadvantage. Yeah, and then all of the wisdom ones, checks and saves become advantage. And your intelligence goes. Yeah, you also have intelligence disadvantage. So you're not.
well, then I better not.
Yeah.
I'm already pretty done.
Same.
Same, but he.
Which is-
Also,
Jason.
if we are in a safe place, and if it is indeed Eventide, as I do hope it is, if you'd all like to take a toke from the herbalism kit, let me tell you, there's nothing like a Christmastide feast with the munchies.
No.
Okay, sure.
Darling Moira, even you would like it.
Thanks,
no.
Rowan. That sounds cool.
No, you are far too young.
No.
She's 14, I was 12.
Oh my.
Rowan!
Are you going to get on
to tell me no.
Are you
My
going to
family
get
died.
high?
A little help from an herb.
Sweetheart.
Won't hurt anyone.
Oh God.
Well, we'll see
Might
when the
kill a
food
few of your
happens.
brain
We
cells,
can't
darling.
really encourage this on live.
No.
And Giles,
It's just
Giles, like hearing that.
It's legal in
story.
California.
Not for children.
Giles, like reminding when you talked about how your whole family died, he just starts to sob, and then he puts like his arm around you and has to take like a section of the herbalism kit because he's feeling this horrible sadness at the reminder that his family also all died. All right. So in this very funny scene with a worm, a giant worm keep, all of you guys make your way to that hole, kind of almost that overlooks onto the ocean side of Waterdeep. What do you guys want to do? You see that there is a definite, like you had seen before when you first came out of what was probably actually one of the networks within this mountain before, that very long drop. And you guys actually take a moment and you look, and you're not too far away from what looks and appears to be from where you guys had fallen previously, before you had seen fauna. You remember that? So, but you knocked down that whole network of those really rudimentary staircases because of the checks. So you don't see any staircases that let you down. You don't see any way to go down. You just see water beneath you, and about a drop of about 100 feet.
Do we still have
What's
water
above?
breathing? Has it been 24 hours?
It's 8 hours, I would say, yeah.
No, 24
Oh,
hours.
is it 24
Yeah.
hours?
It's 24.
What's above
Yeah,
us?
then you would still have it, yeah.
So we're in like a cliff and there's a hole and the water's below. What do I see above?
Oh, as you look up, it's like the towards the peak of the mountain. There's about another stretch of 120 feet up, and it kind of caves, or it kind of it's the terrain. It's not foresty. It's more like wet grass and rock, cliffside kind of kissed,
Okay.
and it kind of goes up, almost like if you were really good at hiking, you could climb up.
Are there any plants?
Yeah, are there
around?
any plants?
Yeah, there's a little bit of like brush and wildlife.
Sweet. I would like to cast plant growth, which extends 150 feet, so we can all plant growth climb to the top.
Okay, sounds good.
And then I'll cast Speak with Plants to let them know what our plan is.
Yes.
All right, so you put your hand against the side of this kind of outlook. You create stronger growth as everything kind of creates a platform for you guys, so you can step out onto it. And you can kind of almost like a staircase walk your way up. So it will not require a hard check. But it is a little steep, even with the way that you're casting it. So I would want everybody, as you're starting to climb your way out on all of these plants, just to make with advantage because of the very careful construction of it all. Let's have it be a dexterity check with advantage.
But you guys just toked.
I'm gonna crawl
Oh,
in your
yeah.
head.
So that means
I'm
regular.
That means a
I
regular
didn't-
check.
She's
crawling
yeah,
in her head.
She's still on me.
I'm gonna
She's still
hold.
on me.
I still want you to make a dexterity check to stay on her shoulder.
Is
I
it a
just stuff her
saving
in my
throw?
hood.
In her
The hood of my
her
cloak.
hood.
I
Is it
still want you to make a
saving
dex
throw?
check.
Oh my god.
It's just
What?
a check.
What does that mean?
It means
Plus
advantage.
whatever.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, it's just a
poor girl.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh no.
Think that was
I
with
took
the
I had taken the hand of
12.
dirty 20.
Okay, yeah. So anybody over 12, I'll say that you guys are able to make it up without too much problem. It's not too difficult. Keep is making her way up fine. Giles like slips at one point, and like is almost falling, but is able to catch back on and just barely make it at the very bottom. What did everybody else roll?
9.
16. Okay, so pass, and you rolled a 12. A 12, right? Yeah. So everybody else is doing okay. You guys are all climbing up this very steep hill. Lala, you're like a little too toked, and so I will say that like you get a little curious about what's happening because you're in the hood of Moira, and you kind of like poke your head out, and you didn't realize that like Moira's at a steep incline, and you kind of have to like whoops, and you just are starting to like free fall out of her hood, not realizing how deep of the angle this was.
Oh no.
Guys, my wings.
My worm did a 14 and he's behind me. Can he like
I'll
Catch
have
her
him-
with his
he
mouth.
can make a dex saving throw from your worm. It's fine.
Yeah, we both got the same.
Oh, 19. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this worm catches
Not
you.
gonna catch you in his mouth. He's not that stupid.
The worm's body is very long, so as you're beginning to fall out of Moira's hood, not realizing what was happening, the worm kind of arcs just enough so you kind of slip and hit against its slippery surface and kind of slide across it. I still want you to make a quick dex
he's like
saving throw too.
Velvety worm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
What the
The same
I
number.
got a 9 again.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
need a
you're
different- I need to use a
this
different
worm
one.
is really
Is that with
slippery.
disadvantage?
Well, because
Yeah,
Was
it would
this
be
one still
disadvantage. This one would still be at
I
disadvantage
mean,
with the save.
what's worse? Still 4.
Yeah, like even though the worm caught you with its body, it doesn't have hands, and it's like a slimed worm.
I'm going to
So-
speak to the vines that are going down
Yeah,
the
sounds
mountain.
good. Yeah.
Excuse me, please. My little friend down there, she's a pixie. She needs your help. She's having a very hard time keeping her balance. She did a little smoky. And I need you to just catch her with your tendrils and gently float her up to the top, back into Moira's hood. Thank you.
Okay, I'll say your speak with very conveniently held until the moment where you might need it. You see Lala fall out of Moira's back. You're like, oh no, you see the worm catch it. You see Lala still sliding off the worm, like not grabbing onto anything, with her eyes like looking up to the sky. And you speaking with this like, it's almost like a fresh raspberry bush that has grown on the side that you have transformed into a climbable bush.
I often eat it.
Yes, you guys have been like eating little raspberries as you go. But this raspberry bush, which does have thorns, begins to dance out a bit and wraps around you. It hurts a little bit. It's prickly, but you now have like a full wrapped around dress of raspberry bush with raspberries on you.
Lala.
You eat a raspberry. As the bush slowly begins to rise with you and try to like bring you up towards your friends in a safer place, but you're wrapped around in thorny raspberry bush right now.
As soon as he's
Tap
close, I'm gonna pluck her out and go, stop wiggling. Put you in. I'm actually gonna put her in a pocket or something.
Okay, sounds
Somewhere
good.
that's a little safer.
Clutch it with one hand and my raspberry.
Just sit down there and eat your raspberries. Don't worry about anything
No.
else.
It's a worm.
Enjoy
being
the
wiggling.
raspberry.
All right.
Do you want one?
Rowan has to go to the bathroom. She starts peeing.
And yes, we'll say that. We'll say as she's eating this sad raspberry, as you guys are all shuffling up from the growth above.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. The growth above. You see Waterdeep below you, and then I will say what you see when you hit the peak. And until then, we'll take a break. It's break time. Yay!
All right, we're gonna pull up chat and chat with you guys.
And there is a giveaway, which is good to
There
know.
is, but you have to be in chat the entire time for this giveaway.
You must be in chat. Our mod will contact you. I forget who the mod is. Just
Mod.
double check in that chat, and they will get your information and send it along to the appropriate parties.
Yes.
And also, it's international. We can ship it anywhere, so it doesn't have to be domestic.
Also, don't forget that we have answers to questions that you may have for us. We do the festive sad raspberry.
What's it got in its pockets?
I'm Pixie.
Erica.
I know I love raspberries. I can eat them. I can eat a huge amount of
I have seen
raspberries.
Kelly eat a good amount of raspberries.
Good job.
I have a problem where like I'll buy a carton of them and I gotta eat like the whole thing.
They're so good.
We just
I do
heard
like blackberries.
that Luna, our dog, likes raspberries.
Yeah,
And
me
dogs
too.
love to eat raspberries.
they are.
Yeah.
we
They're
looked
so
it
good.
up. We looked it up.
And blackberries.
She
Did you
really
have
well.
blackberries?
She's
Did she
not
have
as
it-
excited
was it
about
okay
it.
on her digestion?
Yeah, she loved it. She loved
We
it.
only gave her one.
We only give her one. But the thing is, because you're not supposed to give dogs too many sweet things in general, but usually once in a great while, depending on if they can have it or not. But she was like, she tried the blackberry, a very small amount of it, like this much, and she didn't really like it as much.
I thought she liked raspberries and blackberries, but she didn't like blueberries.
Maybe that's what it was. She ate the blackberry like, okay, this is all right, human people food. That was her reaction.
Human food. I'm okay with it.
But the raspberry was like, that
She,
thing
like,
is
came
the
back,
best. She was like, I
I
love it. It was so cute.
Hi, Rocking Gamer. They said hi, guys.
Oh, hi, Robin Gamer.
I'm actually gonna sneak out. I want to sneak.
Not a question.
Me
for
too, I'll
Moira.
go with you.
It's smart to get that.
this accent.
E-Higgs25 says, not a question for Moira. You could have probably dispelled your worm to get Lala back and then recalled it after she was safe.
I have no spell slots anymore, so I cannot recall it. And I wanted to keep him because I didn't want to have any
Like something like
disadvantage
this.
when
too.
carrying Vita.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because I would have to have Vita slung over my shoulder, have her in a pocket somewhere,
Yeah.
and be climbing out.
And also the worm saved Lala's butt. even
Yes,
though it
well,
didn't-
we tried.
Yeah.
We tried. We
Just
tried.
about.
Oh,
I did this!
Epic
Spillage.
water
I'm
spill.
Sorry!
Let's,
That's what it looked like when Lala came out.
Close.
yeah.
It's a bad joke. It's
It
not
was
in
just
any
water.
and it didn't hit any electronics, which is good. It's always a good thing.
I'm sorry.
Spillage. Don't worry about it. It happens. I'm usually the clumsy one. That's what it looked like, Lala. When you were going through the. Oh,
It's a lot of water.
It's a lot of water.
That's
What just happened? What happened was the table got bumped and my water cup flew off, and it was recently filled with water.
Dex check failed.
So, yes. So there's lots of water.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
everyone's saying we rolled nat ones for that.
I did. I got no decks, guys. It's just dripping off.
That's the mic.
I'm trying to get it.
Another
This
mic?
is just close quarters. It's close quarters. Ooh, I can't wait to see that fan art. That sounds awesome.
Ooh, yeah, it was beautiful. Oh, you have a wall. I'm so excited. And where it was beautiful.
It was
We
very
saw
beautiful.
it.
Very
Yeah, we
beautiful.
saw it on Twitter.
That's the problem with these goblins is they're top
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's always I don't have the ability to draw at all, in the slightest. So I'm always in awe when people have this ability to think of things and create it. It's just it's mind-boggling to me. Ooh, drawing the raffle winner. Oh, it's TK. It's TK who's taken over. So thank you. Who's going to win? Any other questions? I mean, I'll take them as you're grabbing some paper towels.
Oh, Gambo Gamer!
Ooh, who got it?
Congratulations. If you're in chat, let us know.
Oh, Gambo Gamer. Gambo Gamer.
No, if it wasn't too, yeah. it was like-
If you are in that chat, be sure to hit up TK and they're going to take care of you. Congratulations.
Oh, what happened?
Player's handbook for you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
She's pulling on the 30-second mark.
Well,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has
be
been
sure to let
drawn.
TK know if you're in chat.
Careful, Mike.
Yeah, I know. These are just really close quarters.
Question.
Yeah.
What
I would
happened
have
to Lilith's unicorn?
Here, can you?
Yeah.
Chance for a cameo.
Oh no. Do you want me to take the box and?
I met a witch.
Me, yeah.
Lilith met a witch.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, she was gonna kill my unicorn anyway,
Oh, yeah.
but she made a deal with me. She said that if you gracefully and mercifully let him go, so that I can use him for his magic,
Erica, what is
then
it? Water?
just water. Basically, she said she would break the curse of me being in my bloodline, my
Yeah.
cursed bloodline.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
I made that deal.
Yeah. You essentially offered it up. It's dark.
Yeah.
Maybe that will come back to haunt her in some way. They were asking if there's a chance for a cameo, and I'm like, that's a great question.
Maybe in an apparition or something.
Yeah.
But
There's always a chance that the choices we make come back to haunt us.
Boneshka asks, how long does it take Kelly to prep for a game?
No.
Oh, it usually takes me, when I initially start to play a campaign, the amount of prep, like a new season or a new, like, arc, that takes me hours and hours and hours. Like, somewhere, usually, like, 16 to 24 hours of just, like, mental and writing down, like, preparation. But then, per game, especially since I run so many and I do so much, I try to always make it less than 2 hours. So that's things like doing research, making sure I mark all the spells, looking up all the monsters, prepping the storyline, and stuff like that. I cut down my time by prep because I'm not very good with drawing. So things like having to paint minis, it's not a talent I have. I'm very vocal about that. I'm like, I cannot paint. I painted my first mini a few months ago. I'm so bad at it. I'm not good at the intricacies of painting. Again, I have a lot of admiration. Yeah, it's soothing, but it will take me like 10 hours to paint one mini the way I want. And then I also cut down in time because I do a lot. At my home games, thankfully here it's a little different. But my home games, I do digital map productions. Everything's digital. I have like map builders on my computer, ones that I've kickstarted and co-sponsored, that have given me the tools to, because I'm good at Photoshop. I'm good at like manipulating online things. So that's how I prep. That's a great question. How much time I put in that? And then, is there going to be a stream next week? No, unfortunately not. We come back January 6th. Correct?
Yes.
January 6th, and we're going to have awesome giveaways then. So stay tuned and come back to us in 2019. And then, I love this question. If your characters were goddesses in Faerun, what domain would they have? What would your domain be?
What does that mean?
So your domain can be like your source of power. So it can be things like truth or life or death or like trust or anger or pain. You know, it can be anything. Your domain is the thing that ignites you and creates your like gives your domain. Is your domain? It's what you rule over.
It'd be like
It could be food. It could be harvest. It could be literally anything.
I'd say Lilith is probably music.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, she would totally be a music god. That's awesome.
Mine would be truth.
like I feel like
Truth
Lava's
for
either
that's a good one.
tricks or like magic.
Trickster? I would like that one. Trickster domain? There's an actual god in the trickster domain. That's a good one. I actually had somebody ask me this question, and I gave them one. It was at D&D Beyond, the stream, at the stream of Many Eyes. Somebody asked me what my domain would be for me. Like, they wanted to base a god on me, which was, like, insane. But they're like, we're doing this for all of our DMs. And I'm like, what an honor. So I gave them my domain, but they can't talk about it because I think that maybe there's something where they're building a shrine to the pretend god I created, and like it's not what you would think. It's not like my god isn't what you would think it is. It's like a fun little twist. So I don't want to ruin it in case they're watching.
That's cool.
But I'm glad your DM asked me. It was such a thoughtful. It was such a thoughtful way to. I was so honored. I'm still honored. To the point I'm talking about it, you know. Since you moved to Faerun,
Someone said Lilith wouldn't be comedy.
Lilith was-
Oh,
it's a good one.
that's a good point. Can I be the god of both? Or can both
Oh.
be her?
Ever thought of teaching people how to DM online? I was actually a part of the Satine's DM's Guild, or at least her conversation she has before this a couple weeks ago. And I did talk about some DMing skills, so please check that out if you can. And I know that you also do starters, Critical Role. Those things are great resources, but maybe down the
Hamburger
line.
helper, yeah.
Yeah, hamburger helper. Thank you. I almost said hamburger helper.
Hamburger. Well, I mean,
I lived off that stuff for like 4 years in college. No, nothing good about that. Like, why did I eat so much hamburger helper? So that's
It's
still
just games. It's
so weird, right?
I love teaching newbies.
Yeah, me too. Oh, my favorite thing is teaching newer players how to play, or like, it's weird because every DM has like a different style. Like, mine's. I was joking with you guys. You got to see a couple weeks ago with Boys Butts Glory, because I'm a comedy writer, surprisingly. So I love when I can lean into comedy.
Fortress.
I know, but I also love like heightened stakes, and I love deep drama. I'm really into like camp stuff. So maybe one day I'll have to do that. Maybe I'll have to do like a resource or a guide one day. That would be really nice. Thanks for asking that question.
Someone asked, what is Lilith's alignment, I believe.
What's your alignment? Yeah, like neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Scoochies. You're in my seat.
I'm trying.
Any tips for DMing the 5e starter set for my siblings this holiday? Oh, have so much fun. Your siblings are gonna try to get the twist your arm a bit, but oh man, playing with your siblings should be a good time.
I think yes and is one of the best things for DMs to do.
Yes, and
And not putting them in like absolute dire stakes. Like allow them to have fun.
especially in the newer stuff, not being so firm. Like especially if there's gonna be, if you have younger siblings, like young ones who might be affected by like dying or things like that, be careful. Just be careful, like maybe guide them into that idea that your character can die later on in later sessions.
Yeah.
And let them know things can happen, like resurrections, and they can come back to life. Just depends on how young your siblings are. If they're like in their 20s, then they need to learn the hard truth of life.
The truth of the world. I like to be. Thank you. I like to use my 20s and my 1s for flavor when I'm DMing.
Yeah.
So Kelly's character in my old campaign rolled a 1, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna die," and I went, "Wait a second, no, you very, very nearly did, Robin."
Oh,
Robin.
deadly incantations before she sees it. My answer is yes.
Huh?
Please make that art, please.
They asked about Moira Gailon art piece, and I really would like to see it.
I would love to see that too.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Please, yes. Give me some fan art.
Well,
I
Moira's
just
got farming now.
Yes, it was Deadly Incantations.
She's getting hit on a lot, y'all.
Right? That was you. I think that was you on Twitter.
I got the most beautiful piece of Moira fan art, and every time I look at it, I feel such happiness. She's got these lilies, and she has her gauntlet, and she's smiling. It's so beautiful.
Somebody did ask what your adventuring party in-game name is. Like, what do you guys call yourself within the world?
We
So
still haven't.
maybe today's the day to do it. Maybe.
Well, hold on. Someone asked a really good question. What are the players' favorite GTG ship? Not Bowden ship. Moira Todd.
No, never
Moira and Todd.
Never again.
Moira and Todd.
Never.
Chanza.
Oh, shit.
No.
Moira
Would
and
never
Todd.
happen.
Moira and Todd. That's the vibe so good. That's why everybody wants it.
I'm tall.
Oh yeah.
Cousin. Oh no, the water got on her.
What about you, Kim? Do you have any
that
fun
was down there.
GGG ships, like a dream ship? Some of us want Moira and Todd to be a thing.
I like Moira and Farland.
Yeah, like yeah.
I like Fauna and Gailon. In the future. She's gonna
There's gonna be like a 7-year gap because he's like 21. He's young. He's young.
He's young, but like, you know, in 7 years he'll be 27 and I'll be 20, and that's,
It's not as bad.
or I'll be 21 and he'll be 30. That's
It's not as
crazy.
bad actually.
That's marriageable.
Yeah.
It's just many, many years. Like we're gonna have to have a jump sequence into the
Well, and by then she can heal his tongue. She'll be strong enough.
Night Razor asks, any
You gonna
plans
need
for
to be
all
able
of
to
you to
heal
do Vampire the
stronger.
Masquerade next year? I'd like to.
What? Masquerade?
We
Yes.
would love to do Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes.
Why would we not?
I can't talk about it, but maybe. Not GNS, no. But maybe. I would love to. Maybe I will.
What is it?
30 seconds.
It's another piece here.
Thank you for the 30 seconds. We will.
Great. Oh, it's so good.
Vampires.
Oh, Vampire's so good. It's so good.
Wait.
I want to do that. Fantastic game. I was lucky enough to guest star
Yes, I
on
did.
Allie, can you hand
on
me some
Jason's
water?
amazing show on Beacons Hunters. So
We,
definitely check that out. They just wrapped up the epilogue storylines, which are like 4 that coalesce into one story. It's
I was
brilliant.
just agreeing
So
with you that these
check
are
it out. Join a new raffle winner now.
Another one? Ooh.
Yeah.
3,
Stay in
2,
chat.
you're back.
To Krusnuk, welcome, and I believe you were drawn for the
Yeah,
raffle winner. So congratulations! Be sure to hit up TK, and we will continue our story. So with that, let me describe what you see.
now I'm leaving chat, so.
We are also leaving chat. So features in until next time. Choose farewell. Find us on D's Twitter. D's Twitter. So you guys take a moment as you're climbing up over the hilltop, and the most distinct thing that you notice here is that as you had hit the ocean side, in the scent of the ocean finally hitting your nose after a couple of days underground, which have not been pleasant, it's refreshing, and you do smell, actually, very faintly, that thing that Rowan was so excited about, this like scent in the air that is rather calming. It's hard to tell if it's like sugars and spices or what it might be.
everything nice is.
But it's colder. The wind is a bit colder. Everything's colder. The sky has this pale color to it. You guys actually came into town, and it's right around the fall time, but things are shifting, and it must have been in the couple days that you were underground that the weather had become a lot more bitter and cold. And as you guys are climbing over the top of the mountain, the peak, and Waterdeep's about to kind of show itself to you beneath, there's a very, very, very faint, cold kiss that hits your faces and your noses as you guys realize it's the first snow. This is the season, and usually for snow is a very large celebratory event, especially something like in Waterdeep. It marks the arrival of winter, this thing called the Feast of the Moon. So it's the last great festival of the year, this one. You know that things like the dead are honored and graves are blessed. Many of you who pray to gods would know this definitively. The most exciting thing is the fact that everything is just absolutely splendorous. The snow is falling, lights are being lit, you actually see a lot of what appears to be from the top of the mountain that you're now looking down on. It's chilly up on this mountain. You're going to have to walk down it in order to get to the kind of the bustle of the city below. But you sense, you see a lot of horses getting retrofitted in this very kind of fur-like wear, adornment, where like even the animals are getting now like.
Do they have jingle bells?
I will say quite a few of them have bells on them, and the carriages are shifting over. There's the carriages are being retrofitted to handle the snow, and it seems like everybody here is like, oh, snow time, and they're breaking out their snow gear, their boots, their beautiful winter coats, heavy furs, and people are already starting to cook. You can sense cider in the air. It's really nice. You can see somewhere nearby, someone is dumping water. You can hear the sound of it and creating a very small ice skating rink nearby the palace area. Yeah, it's very seasonal and festive, and now it's just hitting that cusp of the cold. So this is a beautiful cold. This is not an ugly cold or sludgy cold. This is just nice and crisp. You also catch, even from where you are, it's busy. There are people in the street, and from what you can gather, there's a lot of people looking like they're going to leave. A lot of very rich people seem to be mounting their carriages and horses, getting ready to go to their what might be a summer home. There's a lot of pretension in the city, and it is very, very busy.
More no
So,
for us.
Yeah.
Guys, can we?
But it's gorgeous.
We should probably return the body.
We should.
And
We should also
Maybe you should return the body, and we'll go eat gingerbread and.
and
Ted.
abandon us.
No, technically you'd be abandoning us. Yeah.
Can you send a message? I
Yes,
still.
ask him to come here.
I would like to see Violet. We have
Out.
to discuss.
I bet you
I
would.
need to rest.
Yeah, we all have.
Keep looks very overwhelmed. Like, she doesn't understand anything that's happening. She goes,
want to take my calls.
this is really
Do it,
interesting
just do it.
place.
This
This is
is-
Waterdeep?
Well, I mean, it's festivaled out. It's all decked out for the festival. But yes, I'd like to hop on the worm, get
Uh-huh.
towards the edge of the city, just like coast down the hill like I'm on a giant sled.
On your giant worm?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
you're gonna
just
get
until
pretty
the
far away
edge.
from everybody unless everyone comes with you. It's a very steep hill.
Do you guys want to sled
I'll
with me?
ride the worm with you.
I'll also ride the worm with you.
I'll also ride it.
So keeping Giles, like, hop onto this worm, happy family,
Everyone hold on to each other.
and you guys all begin to, like, slide down just the side of this crazy mountain slide. Can I please have you make an animal handling check to see how well this goes, just really quickly?
Oh,
Because you're going
sure.
fast. You're going
Yeah,
fast.
probably gonna
And the
crash,
snow is
so
kind of
yes.
hitting your face.
Someone better
It's
be
just
holding
enough.
on
That's
to-
15.
15? Okay, yeah.
I have Vita.
And I'm in a pocket.
I'm making sure.
And you're
that-
holding on to her, making sure she's kept
Yes.
warm and not too
Yeah,
cold.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
freezing. You guys do want to get things like winter coats. You want a hot tea in your hand. It's the wind is kissing you guys to the point that your nose is all turning a little bit red on the tips. Like, it's that chilly, and there's that flushed red going on your cheeks.
It's a look.
But it's a look. But as you guys are slipping and sliding down on this worm, who is just having actually a blast. I don't know if this worm, it's this celestial worm, is just having a good time riding down a very, very small amount of snow, no more than 3 or 4 inches, but enough that it can coast down. And you guys are making it all the way to the base of the hill. There is 2 or 3 areas. There's a graveyard nearby where a lot of people are visiting, and they see you coming like full force.
Giant worm.
It's just like giant worm with all these people riding
And
it.
my skeletons are all holding on to me. Skeleton.
Yeah, it's a pretty steep dive down, but you guys are having a good time. It's like, again, it's like an episode of maybe what would be the equivalent of Home Alone, as you guys are all like sliding down this worm. You do slide kind of across and finish just on the edge of the graveyard, not hitting any of the graves,
Yes.
as all
Music
these
was
people
perfectly-
are standing
Yes.
there with bundles of flowers, like the last fresh flowers, a lot of white flowers that are very beautiful and crystalline. You can tell that people are just buying up the flowers, knowing that it's the first snow, because this festival does not happen until the first snow, and you call it something different in your home. Eventide. So the first winter snow, the grandest winter snow, the kiss of winter. Eventide is now here. So yeah.
And I would like to just suggest, before we partake in the festivities of Eventide or First Snow or whatever they call it here in Waterdeep,
Winterdeep? I mean,
Waterdeep.
technically it is Winterdeep
I'm
now.
just so excited for the spirit. I could surely use a long rest before all the merriment and festivities.
As could
And
I.
Lord knows what trouble we might get in.
But
I-
we also have to deal with
I'm going to take her to the temple. If you would like to go to your own temple or an inn somewhere, I'm going to rest in the temple and take her there.
Let's go to an inn.
Okay.
I need to figure out how to get my skeletons into the inn.
Find some
Do you
costumes.
have a disguise kit for them?
I do. How about I'll take my costume off?
Okay.
Come Lilith again. It's quite
I
frankly,
guess I
this
could
is getting
take
old.
my hat off for.
And
Oh,
you can
It
use some of my
would be
costume.
attuned.
Okay, I'm taking my wig off.
Okay, you take your wig off, you take
My
your costume
dress.
off. Yeah, you're
Yes.
you're no
Hiding
longer a
behind the
doll.
worm.
Yes,
He's made a
no,
little
you're still a little
donut
chilly
for me.
considering the fact that it's cold and it's white. Everything's white. The sky, it's kind of, you know how sometimes when snow falls, it's like the actual sky is hard to look at because of how white it is. Now everything's white off of it. Now you understand why the light was that refraction when you were first walking out. But it's just like white, bright, like eyesore everywhere. So as you take off your white bright doll costume and you start to become Lilith, all the people in the graveyard are like screaming like,
Oh,
like,
I
oh,
was
what is this
thinking that
creature?
maybe the worm had created like a little donut I could.
Like a
So you're changing in the middle of it?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it out
in front of everybody at the graves. Okay, they're very confused about this worm. There's this little kid who's like pointing and his mom's like, don't look, honey. Like there's just this whole scene happening
He's
in the
celestial,
graveyard.
so he looks very heavenly and sparkly and beautiful.
And I changed.
So,
Back into Lilith.
Holly's dressed as now a doll,
Uh-huh.
and I guess that means Jolly's dressed as a god, because those are your two costumes, right?
Yeah.
And then how can we hide Barry?
Let's just say he's in costume.
Listen, I have my noble fine clothes with me, always. If you can promise that he's not going to hurt them at all, I will let Mary wear my fancy nice dress.
Mary will wear it and do their best, no promises,
Okay.
to not ruin it.
Okay. As you douse the three of them, trying to cover their faces, which are not really faces, they're like skeletons, just putting the mask on. You do an okay job. You have a feeling this ruse may not last if you're trying to go into any establishment or
I'm just
anything. You
gonna
might need to just
Try
put
to
them
get
somewhere.
We're gonna go get a room. I'm gonna put them in there for the night, tuck them into their beds, make sure they're nice and comfy, and then we're gonna go party.
Also,
After a long
the streets are
rest.
quite crowded.
Oh, yeah.
The worm might have trouble getting through the streets and things of that sort.
So as soon as we get to the edge of the city, I'm going to dissipate the worm, and I'm going to get Vita's body onto my back,
Okay.
and I'm going to send me a message or something, tell me which inn you're going to be at, and I'll
The
be there.
Breyers Fork.
The what?
The Breyers Fork.
Breyers Fork. Okay.
Here it has the best knock.
I need to rest before I could do anything else.
Okay. I will meet you at the Breyers Fork, but first I have to go to the Temple of Helman and take the body with me.
Okay, so Keep's gonna come with you to the Temple of Helm. Giles is gonna come with you guys as you try to get a room over at
I'll link
Breyers
arms
Fork.
with him.
Oh,
It'll be just
yeah.
like better times past.
Yeah, he takes your arm and you begin to skip through all of the snow.
I link arms with my skeletons and we skip behind them.
You
Oh my
just skip
gosh.
with your two skeletons, all
I
three of
agree.
them, all three skeletons skipping down the street. Everyone in the graveyard's really confused, but no, none of them. All of them are saying that you're in your own way paying respects. A lot of the parents there don't seem to be too. They're busy taking care and kind of doing an ode to their own dead within their family ancestral lines. So you
So is it like a
sneak
Christmas
away
Day of
without
the Dead?
disturbing too much. It's kind of like a Christmassy Day in the Dead, the Feast of the Moon. It's like the cusp of Christmas
This
time.
is awesome.
Yeah.
It's within this world.
Yeah.
Feast of the Moon, you guys.
That's what the days between Christmas and New Year's are supposed to be. They're called the Days of the Dead.
But yeah, so you guys are all making your way to the edge of the city. It's not too hard to get in. There's a lot of people coming in and out. A lot more going out when you guys get to one of the entrances of the city and kind of walk around it. There's a lot of nobles, a lot of horses and carriages making their way out, a lot of rich people looking down on other folk. You're learning and you're discovering right now, though you have spent some time in Waterdeep for a good amount of time now. This is the first time you've been here during the season, and there are a lot of rich people leaving, probably
Good.
to their summer homes to the south. So they're all kind of turning their nose down to you as they're leaving and exiting the very overcrowded Waterdeep right now. You make your way in to the southern entrance of Waterdeep, and you're not too far away from Helm's Hall. It's just directly to the right from this entrance point. As you begin to walk in and make your way down, and the rest of you guys split, it's actually the Breyers. Breyers Fork is not too far away from here either. You have to go and split into the right to get to where you are, and you have to continue going straight for a little bit, and then you'll hit kind of the epicenter of where all the safe and nice taverns are, and that's where this very small one is. Can you describe to me what it looks like, Breyers Fork, as you guys are walking towards it?
It looks like a bungalow made of briars, sort of like a beaver dam took a bunch of thorn whips and lashed it together and then dulled the thorns with a little nail file-esque thing. So it's rather lumpy and viney and very cute. It has a little chimney with corkscrewing. Yes, the corkscrew chimney.
And it's actually, it is quite a sight amongst all the other very Waterhavian structures here that are very regal and everything. This one looks a lot more like it's like a corner. It's on the corner street of where two streets intersect, and it's just kind of there and homey looking as everything else around it looks like a city. But this is like a little piece of architectural repose in an otherwise city-esque scape. So you guys are making your way into there. You head over to Helm's Hall and meet up with Kibber, who is currently playing a dragon chess very slowly with another fellow orphan. And Barry.
Before they
Oh,
leave,
yeah.
I'm gonna say bye to Vita.
Oh, okay.
I just want to say bye to her and that she was my hero. And then I'm gonna just say a prayer to Lathander for her.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to do that before we separated.
All right. You do so. You say a quick prayer, hoping that she comes back and she's okay. And you let them walk towards Helm's Hall as you follow Rowan. And Lilith, are you heading towards the bar too? Yeah. And that means the two of you guys are just heading along with
I'm just trying to sleep in her pocket.
Yes. Keep makes you and Keep make your way over to Helm's Hall. Kibber takes them in, and he kind of greets you very curiously as you walk in.
I want to tell you.
Happy Feast of the Moon! It's Moon Day.
Oh, you too, Kibber. We have an awful lot to talk
Did
about.
you eat yet? It's
No.
a feast time.
Kibber.
It's morning, isn't it?
Kibber. Yes, it is. Oh, are you drunk?
What?
No, never mind. We have a lot to talk. Kibber, please. We have a lot to talk about. We've gone through some various intense and dramatic situations.
I remember.
Kibber,
Romance.
Kibber, no.
Romance, you said.
No.
You said you've been through romance.
No. Well, yes, but no. Listen. I need one of your more powerful clerics.
What?
Let's bring this woman back.
What?
Cleric. Kibber, cleric.
Ah, yes, I could always use one.
No, resurrection for her.
Oh, you have. Oh, somebody is on your back.
And he kind of
Yes.
stands up
Oh my
very
God.
slowly, takes feet off your back, lays her gently down on one of the beds nearby, where they've taken certain people who are ill. And he's just kind of he's standing over her with his spectacles. He has to put them on, very large spectacles. And he looks down at his bad back.
Goes, oh, this is. She doesn't look very good.
Well, she's dead. Kibber. Do you have anyone who can help her? She's been dead for, I believe, 9 or 10 hours, somewhere around there.
That's some time. I'll do my best, but I cannot promise anything. There's other folk who might be able to, who I can ask their assistance for. This is tragic.
Yes. Kibber, there's more, much more. This is Keep.
He has to adjust his spectacles for a moment because they're for close and Keep's a little far away, so he has to take them off. Slowly, Keep comes closer. He puts them back on, and he's like very, very taken aback by the visual of Keep. She looks very odd. She doesn't have as many boils on her body. She's much more refined, but the shaved head and the high elven ears and the very slick, kind of intimidating look she has isn't the most inviting. As she's looking at him.
This is Kibber Edric. He is the head priest here. This is the Temple of Helm. Keep says that she's worshipping Helm and she is part of a group that worships Helm, but these are their symbols. This is their symbol of Helm. Have you seen anything like this?
He takes a moment to like inspect and go close to her necklace, and she kind of like recoils.
It's okay.
But she looks around and she looks to you and she's like, this isn't a temple to Helm. This isn't his symbol. And it's very odd as like Kibber's trying to calm him down. And he takes a moment and he looks at her necklace and he adjusts it and he takes a moment. You see his hand go across the necklace for a moment. And he goes, this is most interesting. This is a very strange necklace. Who made this for you? And Keith just gives him this blind look in his face, and he lets go of it and he goes, so these necklaces, they must be hard to make, or somebody must be making them if you're saying she has one of these.
There are hundreds. They belong to her people. They're in the Undermountain. They say that they worship Helm. To be frank, I believe they may have been brought back by something.
Yes, you see, the thing is it's the most interesting thing is that these have been infused with a protective magic. So it's a suppressant for detecting good and evil. These necklaces, they have the ability to render you particularly good, I guess, or something of the sort. And he's like looking at it, trying to understand the protective magic of the spell. But it seems like these necklaces have been infused with a suppressant that don't allow you to see certain things past whoever the wearer is.
Keith, would you be willing to take off the necklace? It won't be taken from you, but just to take it off so that we can figure some things out.
She slowly like nods and she takes it off and hands it to him.
Do you feel okay?
Uncomfortable, but I guess if you promise you will not do anything with this.
We will not destroy it. We do not want to do that.
Giver's like, I don't know. What if I have to destroy
we
it?
will not destroy
But
it.
I might have
No.
to.
If you have to, we will find another one that is not being worn by someone. Not hers.
Well, fine.
Now that the necklace is off, I'm going to use my divine sense again and see if I get anything different.
Okay, yeah. You are opening up good and evil here, and
Divine sense.
divine
But
sense,
strong
which is
evil registers on my senses like a
like
terrible
a false,
odor.
top,
and
terrible odor. Yeah.
powerful good rings like heavenly music.
So there's a lot of good around you, a lot of light. I have to look up her creature really quick while you cast that because it would technically allow you to see what she is.
Creature.
What?
Yes.
No.
Oh
Dun,
god.
dun,
Oh,
dun.
but
So-
if she's a celestial, that'd be really cool. I'm just saying.
You pick up on no good or evil coming from her. She has a neutral source to her. There's no ringing, no scent.
But she's not undead.
No. She's alive.
But she's not celestial.
No.
This makes absolutely no sense. Keep. What can you tell me about you?
I don't know if there's much. I told you everything I could. And Kibber also is like studying her, and he's like, You are wearing odd clothes. Do you mind sitting down? And he's like already inspecting her and asking her questions, and you like go up to speak to him, and he pushes you away as he's continuing to ask her questions.
People, be gentle.
Listen, I'm curious. I think she might have some memory loss or something of that sort.
I believe so.
I think that if I will have to call, we are very short-staffed here. There are a way to bring in more people and sorts. I would almost recommend bringing them to a different temple because we're so powerless.
What if we asked a favor of a few people in the Temple of Lathander? What if we had some clerics from Helm and some clerics of Lathander?
I mean, I don't mind. She, however, like is looking to you like skeptically, like you mentioning that.
What is that face for?
Just Lathander doesn't exist.
Yes, he absolutely does.
We already said this. I don't understand why you're saying his name as if he's revered.
Oh,
This
he's
is
a
very
god.
strange.
Lathander is a god. Do you want me to take you to his temple? I can.
I do.
All right.
And she kind of crosses her arms.
Fine. Take the necklace.
And then
Kibba.
Kibber's like, she's not going anywhere. I must ask her more questions.
No, Kibba, I need to prove a point now because she doesn't believe me, and I'm obviously telling the truth.
Kibber is pretty resistant to letting her go. Like, he wants her to sit down and to investigate more, especially with this necklace thing. Like, he's just, his curiosity is getting better to him. So how do you want to handle that? Because he wants her to stay and she wants to go.
I'd like to try and persuade him.
Okay, go ahead, roll a persuasion check.
21.
It takes a moment as he's like resistant to this idea of her leaving. He pulls you aside. He tries to implore you that it's not a smart idea.
Kibba,
But
why do you think it's not a smart idea? I'm going to bring her back. I just need to prove a point.
in so short of terms, he says that her look and the way she appears is not. It's going to cause suspicion, raise suspicion. So he's just trying to implore you, like, not to triumphantly show her around town.
Okay. All right, Kibba, I need 2 favors from you.
What?
2 messages. Please. Please, Kibba, please.
What do you want?
I did beat you at Dragon Chess a couple of times.
Don't talk about that.
Tell me.
Don't talk about that time.
Tell me. So I need 2 messages sent out. One to the Spires, to the Temple of Lathander. Ask for some kind of envoy or an aid, and describe the situation very shortly if you can. And 2, will you send a message to Captain Farland for me?
Oh, I haven't spoken to him in some time. He's a good man.
Yes. Yes, he's a good man. Will you have him meet us at the Breyers Fork?
The Breyers Fork.
Breyers Fork.
Yes, I can arrange that.
As soon as he can.
Okay. I will do my best. Again, if you have any resources or people you can send our way, I could probably take care of both of these things, both Vida and Keep at the same time, but you're asking a lot of me. I'm only one man, with a lot of orphans. I mean, these kids are not equipped to help these things.
If you can deliver the message to Lathander's people, I will take care of Farland. If I can.
Sounds good. Well, if you have people you can hire out and send my way, I will take them willingly. And he kind of like mumbles to himself and he walks over and he tries to take care of Vida. And he has the necklace in his hand and Keeps actually sitting nearby. And the 3 of them are just sitting nearby this bed and he's asking her questions as he's checking Vida. Just trying to get a lay of the situation. But yeah.
Do we have any idea where I can find people to hire for this?
You'd probably have to look around for some time. Maybe at Breyers Fork. You'd be able to find some people to help out and just...
I'm actually going to go see if I can find Farland because I'm also going to ask him if he knows of anyone I could hire.
Okay, sounds good. You don't know where he is, though. But you're going to have to look for him for some time. Lala, you're still with Moira, too.
Yeah, I'm just
So.
trying to sleep.
You're just trying to rest? Yeah, you guys are tired. It is in the middle of the day.
That's true.
It's bright morning, early morning right now.
Yeah.
So it's very, very tiring as you're walking around.
And I'm just going to go to the Breyers Fork.
My hood
Yeah.
pulled over my face in her pocket.
Yeah, you definitely feel like you're on the cusp from the time that's kind of past to taking a point of exhaustion if you do not sleep soon.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
just go to the
All
Breyers
right.
Fork.
And so the 3 of you, let's just see what happens as she was handling all of the Helm's Hall stuff. The 3 of you guys walk in, burst open the door to the very, very jovial atmosphere of the Breyers Fork, who is actually run by a very small group of halflings and gnomes. It's actually a very cordial environment where these 2 very different races seem to be getting along quite well. And you actually see a gnome has the halfling arm. You know, a couple of them are dating. It's a very jovial atmosphere. A lot of short people because of how short and how small and tiny the building is. A couple of you guys got to kind of lean over. The ceilings are no more than 5.5 feet tall. Accommodating, but not overly accommodating for those who are tall. But it's very cute and it's very warm and cozy. There's a strong hearth in the center, and you see that corkscrew chimney just go all the way up to the top. You can also see sitting around, it's almost like an open, it's a very cool chimney where everyone's sitting around the center of it. It's almost like an amphitheater shape to it that wraps all the way around. So the kitchen's actually kind of off in the center, like in the distance. A lot of food's coming from that. But people, it's like a communal sitting amphitheater space. It's very, very, very happy. And people are drunk.
Well, will you go get us a room? I get to stay here with my skeleton so as not to raise suspicion.
Leave it to me.
All right, sounds good. So you walk on over to one of the bartenders walking around, one of the wait staff, this very plump, happy looking halfling woman.
Sorry guys, we had like a small
That's okay.
Oh no, it's fine. Hiccups happen.
Are we back?
What is it? Eventide. Eventide.
The Feast of the Moon Festival.
Feast of the Moon.
Known by many different things.
Places.
If we're live, we are.
Thumbs up. I'm gonna go into chat.
Okay.
You're having too much fun with that.
So much.
Everyone in chat says stream ended.
You want
It's
some?
not. It did not end.
Can
Someone-
you make a
I
comment?
can't comment. I'm not
Okay,
signing.
I'm going to.
It's so much fun.
It is really fun.
Oh my
I do
gosh.
love that stuff.
And it doesn't even leave shimmer on you. That's
It
Laugh
absorbs
attack.
all of my anxiety. It's like all into you.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. We're chatting. Hi. I'm still talking about.
Hello, we're back. We were playing with our fun what's it called? Goo. So thank you for sticking with us as we continue on. I don't 100% know where you are, so I'm just going to pick it up from describing the interior real quick. So you're looking to get a place, and you stop this woman, a very plump halfling woman who kind of stops you, as she has a very large tray full of hot steaming ciders. It smells like, and a kind of a wreath wrap around it. It almost looks like you serve it all, and it's bubbling beneath it, and the smell, it's like the smell of current jam. It's really interesting. It's like jam going through the bottom of it.
Yeah.
watering. Evan tidings to you.
Oh, I see that I've tidings. I didn't think anybody celebrated that around here because of the face of the man.
I'm not from these parts.
But I can see that you're not from these parts. But you know what the thing is? I think that you should be sitting around here telling everybody about Eventide, because you know what? I think that it's pretty great that you celebrate that, because nobody ever hears. She's just talking. She won't stop talking.
That being said, not being from around these parts, I have a party, and we would very much like a room, and it being Eventide, Festival of the Winter Moon, whatever you call it here, I would like your second best suite.
Well, you're quite lucky. A lot of these really rich nobles just all left with all their money, so right now we're feeling a little bit strapped. Yes, all these really rich people, but you know I'm not rich, but I hope you're rich one day. Like, it's a rich man. Maybe you can help me get one. You seem like a fun one.
I'll
And
do
she's
what
just
I
like
can.
talking, and like one of the wait staff's like,
I walk up to her and grab one of the ciders off of her tray. Thank you so much.
oh, you're welcome.
And I just walk away.
I'll put it on your bill if that's all right. I'm not supposed to give things away for free, but everyone
course
just
not.
thinks I'm an open door and just always takes things off my tray. And she won't stop
terrible.
talking.
You poor thing.
Yeah.
The nicest ones are always the most taken advantage of.
As she kind of
Anyhow,
chats
where
your
can we
ear off.
find this room?
As she chats your ear off, she's chatting you. She grabs you by the arm. She gives you all a drink off of her tray. She just won't stop talking about her.
Because this will help us sleep later. A virgin one for this little one here.
Oh, virgin. So she's like, oh, I see. You got a young little one. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you halfling?
I'm a happy halfling.
Oh, well, we got some great fine halfling and gnome fellas here for you if you're ever looking. You
I'm
know,
always
you're always
looking.
haunted. It's a real good time. You can tell she's a
probably
little drunk.
love a hot cocoa.
Oh.
Or a hot
cocoa.
guy.
A hot cocoa with a hot guy.
She leads you guys over to the back area, walks into the kitchen area, comes out with a very hot melting chocolate. It's much thicker than you would expect. And also the interesting thing is that the marshmallow is not on top. It's in the center, and it's kind of dancing around with the chocolate. So it's like a stick.
Oh my god, I want it.
Wrapped around with warm hot chocolate. And as they hand it to you, you also see what appears to be some sort of red liquid circulating in it. So it's mixed with like a raspberry swirl that's
Ooh, yummy. Yummy. I drink it.
Yeah, it's like drinking chocolate bar. Like you have to like slowly drink it. It's really thick. But she leads you guys all over. She stops in the back for a bit, and her head pokes out, her big rosy cheeks and her big curly hair and her kind of mess of a hair. She's been drinking too, you can tell. She opens the door and she goes, well, you know what? You're just being lucky enough. We happen to have one of our rooms, the nicest suite in town, just got opened up by one of the nobles, the really fancy ones with the big coats.
Oh, I'm not sure we could afford it the nicest. That's why I asked for the second nicest, unless you're doing a holiday discount.
I could do a holiday discount for you since you're a gnome, you're a halfling, and you got fun friends here, and you're all having a good time. And she kind of hops in the back, pops her head out, and hands you the keys to this very fun key that looks like it's kind of gold and shimmery. It's pretty long, and it's a nice looking key. So she gave you the best suite in the tavern if you can muster it. But she does ask. She does ask for For a full night stay in the largest suite, you can get 10 gold piece. But all you can eat for the whole
And
night.
all I could drink this hot chocolate.
All right, I like the way that you work me around. And she promises a free hot chocolate as well.
Yay!
We have some cold.
Do you have any roasted chestnuts? I have a wee little squirrel who will be waking up any moment now, and he'll be very hungry.
There is so much food here, though they don't have those made. She said that they're specialty that some of the gnomes in the back know, and they can get them prepped for you.
That would just be wonderful.
Yes, it's very cheery. All the food that you guys can muster, or any of the Eventide's foods you're asking for, they're excited that somebody knows what Eventide is, because nobody here knows of it as this holiday. And there's a lot of first Christmas themed things. There's a big harvest because things are about to get cold, so you eat a lot before you store up. So a lot of things are in the shapes of snowflakes, snow powder, a lot of things that look like small snow gnomes, like with their snow gnome noses and their snow gnome hats. And a lot of halfling, celebratory halfling human, instead of a snowman, snow gnome. Snow gnome. Yeah, there's just everything here is absolutely rich though, and decadent and sugary and powdery. It's very sweet.
I cannot thank you enough for going out to your ways.
So yeah, they sit you in the amphitheater, and they say that it's going to take a little time to get your room prepped and ready. There are a lot of good-looking and jovial, young and old gnomes and halflings here, and you're really the only. I would say right now, you know that a human and a pixie are about to be on the way, but you're the only tiefling in this establishment.
I'm gonna do an investigation check for a handsome young halfling or no preference around my age.
Please roll not persuasion, a perception check. And Lilith, what do you want to do here? I mean, they're having a great time. They're drinking, they're eating food.
Oh, I'm drinking and eating too.
All right.
18.
18. Sounds good. You happen to have, I'm going to say as you're drinking, and as this whole scene had played out, one of these younger halfling guys comes up behind you and puts his arm around you and goes, "Hey, did you drop from the depths of hell, or are you a tiefling?"
So bad.
That's quite a pickup line you got there.
I just came up with it. My name's Tanny.
Tanny.
Yeah. Do you like it?
It's quite a special name.
I'm gonna go throw up. So he walks away. He starts to throw up in a corner. Some other of his friends come by and say sorry. A couple of the ladies do that were with them. And they notice that you have an instrument on you, and they're all just around, and they're so excited, and they're asking you to sing an Eventide song.
I bet you could make one up.
Could you please? The spirit of giving is behind it. It'll suit.
Yeah, they're all cheering. You have a whole group of these halflings around you now, sitting around in anticipation as you bring out your instrument.
You have to pluck it.
Quite good.
Eventide is really jolly here. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for all the chocolate and beer. Cheers! Have a happy Eventide.
Have a happy Eventide. They all sing in unison right back. And the song begins in rounds, and everyone's picking up the things that in circles that make them happy.
Are we supposed to sing?
Heck yeah.
I forgot how it was.
Thank you for all of the chocolate and
Cider.
cheer.
Cheer.
Have a happy
Eventide.
Tide.
Thank you for all the cute boys here. Have a happy Eventide.
And they're all looking at you in anticipation because it's Eventide for Rowan.
I forgot the words.
Make up your own.
One of them kind of puts their
Okay. thank you for the chestnuts and the nog and cocoa. You brought back a happy memory. It's a rough time of year, you know. But I'm glad that you're all with me.
And this hope to have a happy Eventide. And they all just sing it in unison, and they all go around as you're playing, and they all say things they're happy for. And it's just this lovely little shared moment where everyone talks about what's making them happy and why they appreciate one another. And it's really jovial. People start to buy you guys drinks. You're just starting to eat as much as you want. And about...
Am I collecting any gold coins?
Roll a performance check with advantage, because that was awesome.
How did my 18 investigation for cute boys go?
Oh, it wasn't too hard to look around as they are now surrounding you in the amphitheater circle. Like, there's a solid 3 good pickings.
Oh, well, I will have to interview you all.
Here's my boyfriend application. Please fill it out.
23.
23. Oh yeah, people here are just so impressed by this like absolutely wonderful song. I'm gonna say you get a total of 35 gold just sitting there. There are some people, some wealthier people. Like, yeah, you could. There's some wealthier people really. But these people are just loving this. The fact you're singing about Eventide, you're making bank, and people are happy about it. Like, and giving coin plenty. So, as that beautiful song is occurring, you see about 30 minutes past as Fauna, you are able to rile up. What conversation are you having as these 3 halfling boys are around you, all in their teens, just in the middle of your conversation?
You're all so sweet, and your words have been so kind. I don't know how to choose between the 3 of you. Anything that might make you, I don't know, stand out that I should know about?
Fauna, make them fight.
I know, I'm trying.
You're talking with Derek, Marl, and Flagon.
Derek, Marl, and Flagon.
Derek, Marl, and Flagon, and all of them start to push one another, like, no, me first. I'm stronger.
One at a time.
I'm
one
stronger.
At a time.
I'm braver. I'm
Stop.
more even-keeled.
Derek, tell me your best quality now.
And as
speed dating.
as he's like trying to open his mouth to speak, in walks right on time Moira, along with a little Lala right on her back.
In a speed dating
There's
session.
all these
About
people.
right.
There's about like 80 people who all turn in unison towards you guys and just cheer the moment you walk in and scream and celebrate.
Happy Eventide.
What is this?
Thank you for the chocolate and all the cheer.
Have a happy Eventide.
Get her nail. Or cider.
Or hot chocolate.
All of it.
All of it. You're swarmed. You're swarmed by 4 waitstaff who just put so many things in your hands, and you have.
I love it. I don't know where we are.
You guys get ushered in. You guys get sat down very quickly. You get pushed in your back. You get sat down next to everybody here in the center of the amphitheater.
Now have your wings grown.
There's people. There's halflings and gnomes here of all sorts. Just trying to feed you guys to your heart's delight. A couple of them, very drunk, are falling asleep in areas around the tavern. But it is a scene.
They're preparing the best room for us, where we shall have a long rest, and for now, we can drink and be merry until it's ready.
Wait, you're interviewing boys?
Yes, meet Derek, Meryl, and Flagon. I was just asking them for their best qualities. Don't you think that's a good question?
It is a very good question, and I will be judging you based on your answer.
Flagon, what's your best quality?
Is this like an Eventide thing?
This is
Yes,
I'm
yes.
her older sister, and if you look like you're going to hurt
You're
her,
an
I will
old
hurt you.
sister.
I will hurt you.
I don't like
This
that
one's
one.
out.
Which
Which
one
one
was
is
that?
that one?
Be gone.
Flagon,
Flagon, I'm sorry, you're done.
Love.
Goodbye.
He kind of
Hello.
takes the dirt and he walks
Rude.
away.
I'm
Get
only
out of
like
here.
20 something. Thank you very much.
Everybody else also boos. Like there's it's like a competition show. Everyone's kind of involved. Yeah, it's just like a bachelor.
All right, contestants.
Derek, if we were to go on a date, where would we go?
As this is happening, everyone's like, wait, and they put them on like 2 stools, and then like somebody grabs like one of the shining, shimmery snowflakes and like refracts some light onto the 2 of them, so they're like on spotlights in chairs. They put a divider between Fauna and them, like 2 people stand in between, so like Fauna can't look at their answers.
So yes, Derek, please tell me about this date you take me on.
I would bring you into.
Meryl, what about you?
Oh, I would walk you down a lane, and then I would hold your hand,
That's sweet.
and then I would make you a soup.
Ooh, what kind of soup?
That must be the gnome.
Can I
Is
ask
that
him
the
a
gnome?
question?
It's the gnome. Yeah, Meryl's the little gnome one. Yeah.
Can I ask him a
Yes, you may. This is
Meryl
important.
or Derek?
Both of them.
Oh.
Meryl and Derek, would either of you lay down your life for her if she was in danger?
Damn.
Roll an intimidation check. Are you doing that? With advantage. With advantage. With advantage.
Oh God,
with advantage.
Thank you.
That's much better. That was funny.
Where's my intimidation? Oh,
Oh no.
21.
Oh no.
I leave you to intimidate.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Meryl starts to wet his pants right there on the stool.
I forgot these were children.
He just starts to pee. No! He's like, oh gosh. Oh no.
You're not
I grab a
worthy.
Christmas tree skirt from the corner and throw it around his waist.
You're
now you
not
have a kilt.
worthy.
Thank you. And everyone's being really nice to him, but he's really
Not
Oh,
worthy.
kilt.
He just walks and hobbles off the stage as like some people are like, ooh.
Well,
Didn't go
Derek,
wrong.
Well, it looks like it's Derek.
Derek, this is a treasure. This is an angel.
Derek never told me about his date.
I don't think I really want to date her anymore. And he just hops away and he runs off.
No
to-
class, no taste. Boo!
Fine.
good
Bless and
child.
release, Fauna. Bless and release. Okay.
I gotta
there
go
will
to
be
Meryl,
more.
who's Peter's pants.
Oh.
Hey, Meryl, I thought that date idea was really sweet. Do you not?
He doesn't want to. He's like turned into a corner and his head's like in the corner.
It's okay. I feel bad anyway because I'm in love with someone named Guylot.
I hope that you guys drink a lot of soup together.
Thank you. I hope you find your soup girl, and then I give him a kiss on the cheek.
And he gives you like a little thumbs up, and he's just so embarrassed. But it's still a pretty happy atmosphere, minus the unfortunate contestant episode.
I
of
gotta do
Fauna's
another
love.
investigation check. This time for an older guy.
All right, as you see Fauna like say that out loud, like time for an older man. And she starts to walk around, and you guys catch that
Yeah.
she's on the prowl, like you guys know.
Sweetheart.
However, conveniently,
The eyes on her
the
like a
very
hawk.
chubby halfling woman who was walking nearby mentions to you as she's scoping that your room is ready whenever you guys are ready, and she gives you guys all like these beautiful snowflakes that are very delicate pastries that seem to crumble in your hands. And
But also, I just rolled a natural 20 for my
Oh my
investigation
God.
for an older man.
how much? What are you looking for exactly? Because you're gonna find him.
Tell me your idea.
I'm
then.
looking for someone now who's like 17. So not too old.
Not
but
like 14, 13. Yeah.
I'm 14. So someone like a halfling who's like 17. So he's like, just a few years older, and he like looks cool and
Okay.
is very confident.
So you like look around like as everyone's like talking, and in the middle of the chaos as everyone's like drinking and eating delicious food, you see parting between two heads. The most perfect, time slows as like very slowly this perfectly like chiseled like jet black haired halfling boy, with like pale skin. He looks like Tom Hiddleston because I love Tom Hiddleston.
It's a very dashing 17.
Very dashing 17-year-old
A
halfling boy.
17-year-old
17-year-old Tom
I feel like
Hiddleston.
he'd be awkward.
Yeah, he probably was. But like Tom Hiddleston meets somebody
Colin
else.
Farrell?
Yes.
Who?
Young Colin Farrell?
Young Colin Farrell. So it's a nice look.
Okay.
So there's this hybrid across the way, and he like makes like eyes with you, and his eyes twinkle, and he just gives you like a head nod.
Hi.
Oh, you're like across the way.
So
Like,
perfect.
you're like 70 feet away from one another.
But, and I pull out my druid focus, which is actually dried mistletoe. It truly is. It's been the whole time. I'm going to let you a very, very special thing. If you think you might like to kiss this boy, and if you pass all the tests. Only if you pass all the tests.
Thank you.
Hold this up, and this will be the final test. If he knows what this is and he knows what to do about it.
And if he doesn't pass the test, I'll hurt him.
And I expect that back. Be careful, it's a little crunchy these days.
Okay. So I try to part the people.
You do so successfully. You begin to walk through, much like that scene in Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, just Claire Danes. So everyone else.
And I approach him.
He's just standing there. He's like, I was hoping that you'd make your way over here.
I did. You're cool. What's your name?
Oh my god.
My name's not important. I want to know yours.
Whoa.
That's weird.
Red flag.
Smooth for
Red
a-
flag.
My name is Fada, Ivy Underbow. And I'm a very powerful woman.
Wow.
What's your name?
My name's Jackson Sweet. It's nice to meet you.
Jackson Sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's so
Right away.
That's it.
Yeah, he goes in. He kisses you, and it's a very cute kiss, very Christmassy kiss. As Fauna gets, technically, I think, your first kiss?
I think so.
Here.
Wait, did I kiss the boy in the mermaid land?
No,
I
you
don't think
almost
I
did.
did.
You almost did, but
Your
then the
mermaid
checks
boy?
weren't right.
Oh yeah.
I want you to roll a performance check. I want to see how well you kiss, girl. Ooh.
Please roll a 20.
Little Fauna.
Please roll a 20.
15.
15?
Wait, do I get to add anything?
Yes, you do.
What do I add? My charisma?
Performance.
Performance. Oh, performance. Yeah, 17.
It's a beautiful kiss. You just kind of hold there for a second. You don't really know what you're doing, but it's very cute.
Trust me, she found a good one if he knows what
And
that means.
this very special plant, when kisses happen underneath it, it sheds gold sparkle dust. So it just starts to glitter down on your faces.
I didn't even know it did
Um,
that.
Cute.
And as the revelry is happening, as everyone's picking up and celebrating, and just having a nice day and night to recover and a safe roof over their head, in the nicest suite that this tavern can offer, you guys have a nice Evanstide. And that will be where we end our session.
So we
today.
have a long rest.
We will have a long.
I want to stay here.
Happy Evanstide.
Happy Evanstide,
Happy
everyone.
Evanstide.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back January 6th. So we're taking a couple weeks for
And we'll have a
family holiday
great giveaway.
time.
Great
We're
giveaway.
having an awesome
Yeah,
Death Saves
Death
giveaway.
Saves giveaway.
Awesome guest.
Yes, we're gonna have great guests. So stay tuned. The next couple of episodes, we're gonna have
Have we
some really
confirmed?
special people.
Have we confirmed?
Gotta double confirm,
Okay.
but just stay tuned because it's gonna be a fun couple ones as the season kind of makes its story end at least. And yeah, happy Evanstide!
Happy Evanstide!
Thank you.